Rewind. Unbelievable. We ain't playing. We're going. I like the aggression. We probably dropped a great car. You can go tell all those guys up there they can suck it.
What we're about to do is not a good idea.
All good. What is he doing? You gotta be kidding me.
Half the pack is flying apart.
They're so nice to see at the line.
Oh, pack of cars come piling in as well.
Jump. Come in the line.
Hello, come back on him.
That was incredible. Dude, nobody better. Nobody. Hell yeah, guys.
How's it going, y'all? Welcome to NWP on a Wednesday. Great to have you all here. I am your host this week, Eric Estep, joined as always by Danny B, Daniel Baldwin, rocking out in the 17th place finishing Live Fast Motorsports t-shirt. Love that. And Jarrett, very topical as expected with the Chicagoland threads. Jarrett Lundberg, the Iceberg, joining us as well. How are you doing, gentlemen? How's things going in the land of Tennessee? What's Tennessee called? You know, we got the Lone Star State. There's the Golden State. What's Tennessee?
Volunteer state, right, Danny?
Yep, Tennessee Volunteers.
Fitting. Very good. Well, thank you all for volunteering to be part of the show tonight.
It's actually in our contract.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
You're holding in. That's what people do this time of year.
I just want to admit I was rocking out before because I was looking over at Twitter, and Peyton, you probably see that he randomly pops up on Twitter a lot with NASCAR stuff, but he posted the NASCAR 07 Diary of Jane trailer because of Breaking Benjamin, supposed to be in the new NASCAR game.
Yeah. I can't say I'm very familiar with their newer stuff, but Diary of Jane.
Well, I don't care if they get newer stuff. I'll get the classics in there.
Either way, if they pull up Diary of Jane, even sneak that little intro riff in somewhere somehow, that is an instant buy for me. I'm
getting chills thinking of the first time I put that in my Xbox when I was like 10. I was like, this is so badass.
You need to escape over here. I've got it for PS2 ready to go.
You got PS2, I got Xbox. We got like the entire console wars of the 2000s with those two covered.
I think I have like every EA Sports NASCAR game from 01 to 09 readily available anytime.
Oh my goodness. Party at Danny's house in the volunteer state. Welcome, everyone. Should be a great show ahead. We've got a lot of breaking news this week to break down. We also have got Indianapolis, of course. We're going to react to all three races, IRP, the Brickyard. We'll talk Iowa towards the end. Before we got started, I saw the chat was already spamming corn emojis. It's corn. That's right. We are in. What's Iowa? It's not the corn state, is it?
The Hawkeye state.
Okay. It's that simple. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, Iowa Hawkeyes.
So why are we not the Longhorn state down here in Texas? How did we get Lone Star? I mean, it kind of sounds badass, not gonna lie. All right. Well,
it was like when Texas had their independence or something. I could be wrong. I've been wrong about a lot of these NASCAR topics.
Fun fact in Texas,
it's almost star shaped itself. So.
Fun fact about Texans, we have to take a Texas history class, I believe, in middle school. I think 7th grade is Texas history. We don't take a normal social studies or world history or U.S. We take a Texas history class in 7th grade, so we never forget the Alamo. Fun fact for people not from Texas.
How many kids got in trouble for saying, what's so good about dumb old Texas?
Only the kids who didn't grow up here. Kids from Texas, they take that personally.
Speaking of the Alamo, did you see they paid respect to Ozzy? But there's like the story that Ozzy was banned from the Alamo.
What did he do at the Alamo? That wasn't worse than what was done there 150 years ago.
I think like he was like doing crazy Ozzy things, pissing all over the place. Like,
what the hell?
Like, trust me, watch The Dirt or read the book The Dirt. It's about Motley Crue, and there's stuff with Ozzy in there, and it's like, yeah, that's just normal Ozzy.
The real thing us Texans like to do to freak out other people from other states is start reciting the Texas Pledge of Allegiance, because that is another thing that you do every day before school. Anyway, that is a total side tangent. From the Hoosier State to the Hawkeye State, that's what we're getting at here today. We'll start with the Hoosier State. It was an Alabama boy, Bubba Wallace, getting the victory, his first win in almost 3 years. Welcome to, I keep getting this backwards. He's been in the drivers playoffs before. That was the year Chase Elliott missed a bunch of time. But this is the first time now that 23 car has made the owners playoffs. Congratulations to Bubba Wallace and 2311 Racing. We'll start there. He had the lead, looked like was going to win this thing going away. Rain strikes, couple of overtime restarts. He held them off. Jarrett, we'll start with you. What does this say about Bubba Wallace, his growth, his development, that team's development? What does this say to you?
Well, I liked how in his interview, like, he was not, the thing is, he was not focusing like the last couple where it's like, he's doing this the entire time, or he's focusing on the haters. Like, it took Marty Snyder poking and prodding him to talk about it, whereas like he was focused in that moment on what his career has been, the family life, and how much his life has changed there, which like I firsthand, that's why I got so amped.
As he should. He needs to enjoy the moment.
Yeah. And like, because like in the moment, like, I'm not like Bubba Wallace fan or hater, but like hearing him talk about that and like seeing that play out with when he got his son and he presented him just like he
Simba
Daytona, like that hit me, man. Like that, and that's a guy who you can tell it really has changed his outlook on everything and his focus. And to me, like that is so much progress, like just up here that we have seen compared to anything before.
That is his moment. That's for him to enjoy. Like, that's for his team. That's for his fans. At that point, who gives a crap about the splash and go guy counting down your days? Who gives a crap about what any Joe, I don't like you, down in Texas is saying about you? Just enjoy your life at that point, dude.
Yeah, like he said, he not only won this race, but he's winning at life now that he's had his son for, I think, is it 8 months, 9 months? He said it's he's had him since last fall. But it is. I mean, you can speak to this better than Danny or I can, Jarrett. But having a kid clearly has changed his perspective. I think in an earlier interview this summer, he said that like he considers his now small family to be his greatest support system. I think the bad days feel less bad. He's admitted that he used to drive angry. He used to get really upset, really down. Listening to Denny Hamlin's podcast this week, it sounds like there were even times his work ethic maybe was called into question. Was the motivation really there? But that's changed. Certainly it's changed as 2311 has grown as an organization, but it's definitely changed in the last 8 or 9 months. Having a kid, having your whole perspective, your whole world turned upside down. What do you think of that, Jarrett?
I mean, it turns it right side up.
That's bars right there.
but it's true, man. Like I swear I'm not getting too emotional, right? But it's just it's inexplainable. Like there's really no way to explain, but it's true. I mean, like before having a kid, I know for me, like I would see stuff on Twitter, like, or trending stuff in the world or whatever, thing that I disagree with, and I'd be like all pissed off. I'm like, I can't believe what these idiots and blah blah blah, and I hate this and I hate that. And now it's like I see that and I'm like, yeah, but I got like this little human here that is so much more
into perspective for
sure.
And
it's like, that it's hard as hell. It's not easy, but for like. The way that I could kind of say it for him, if it's anything like what I've experienced, is more just like when everything is sort of going nuts around you, and it's like the best version of basically like, it's not tunnel vision, it's just focus. It's like hyper focus. And it's like, in one way or another, I think that every person that has a kid, mother or father, like it's that thing of like, it's like that scene in The Simpsons where Homer has this picture of Maggie and underneath it says, "Do it for her." Right. And it can be whatever battle it is in your life, whether it's work, whether it's a sport, whether it's whatever. And I think like he has fully experienced that. And like he has been a different person this year. Like he's had just as many troubles on the track that he's had at any point before. And it has not beat him down the way it has in the past. Now, like I said, I don't think one win is going to wipe everything away and make him like a top 10 perennial driver, but it's a huge step in the way how he did it and how he has faced that adversity.
I think that's the thing, because you're right. You look at his whole body of work this season, it kind of looks like his last few seasons. It's not anything super remarkable. He's been the second 2311 car most of the year, but this win, and to your point, how he did it. It was a team effort. Pit crew executed. Charleston Ike, new crew chief this year. Everyone expected him to be a step up. He called a great race. And then Bubba, long run, handled business. And then short run, restart, handled business. Didn't get in his head during the rain delay. That showed real growth, that he was finally able to close one of these races out.
That was what worried me. I was like, man, I don't like him having to sit there and think about this and worry, what am I going to do? And I was like, I think I told you guys, like, I do not trust him on a restart here, just because in the past, this race showed us something that we have needed to see out of Bubba Wallace for a long time, the ability to close a race when it's on the line. And in the past, he hasn't been able to do that until this one.
Well, look who he raced against, too. I mean, you see on the bottom, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, William Byron.
Kyle Larson, the defending race winner over the last 2 years, he has more time on this track than any other NASCAR driver. 2 attempts at the Indy 500. He won the Brickyard 400 year before. He raced in the Xfinity Series race the day before. Yeah. Literally the most track time of anyone in a NASCAR garage.
And he was running down Joey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's why I say it was an organizational thing, because Reddick had a top 5 car as well before they tried different pit strategy and they got caught up in a late wreck. But that just shows that delivered. That just shows that not all of the pit performance is still settled at 2311. They still make mistakes on when they should pit, when they shouldn't. Yeah, but no, really exciting for Bubba Wallace. It kind of gets the monkey off his back a bit. Now is in the playoffs again. First time ever in the 5th year of that 23 car. First time that car has made the owners playoffs and will vie for, I was about to say vie for the big money at the end of the year. And then I remembered they don't have a charter.
I saw that set account, Danny, you brought up. It was like, it's actually been 1,200 something days since he won as a chartered entry.
Honestly, at this point, I'm kind of wondering if that person actually dislikes him, if he's just doing it for the bit at this point.
You know, I respect commitment to a good bit. Yeah.
But I did want to say one thing though, that some people kind of was like addressing this towards me a little bit more than they probably should, when I talked about how, you know, there's no asterisks for this win like the Talladega one, and he finally got a true win in his 23 car. Yes, right. His second win, technically, it was just they put that number on a team prepared by Bubba's team, but still, visibly, what we saw, he won the second race, his first true win in the 45, when, you know, they swapped things for points purposes. But to see him finally get the win in his 23 car, that felt right. It just felt good to see that. I do wish it was a different paint scheme, though.
I was about to say
the Chumba Casino car is the ugliest one he's got, in my opinion.
Oh, it's an abomination. I agree. I'm like, good to win in the 23. That's great, but gosh, that car. I was telling Amelia the whole time, like, I was telling her towards the end, I was like, I kind of want Bubba to win this to be a great story, but God, that car is ugly.
I actually watched a vlog from a couple who went to last year's Brickyard 400. They literally just posted a few days before this year's. And they were going through, and he said that the wife was a fan of Bubba Wallace, and they bought the cold pit pass package you can get, so they got a chance. They were going through and seeing some of the cars before the race got started, and there was Bubba's Air Force car, and it looked a whole lot better. And it's man, why couldn't you wanted that one? And also I asked them, like, because they were from the Indianapolis area, I could tell. I was like, did y'all go this year? I hope you did. They said no, they actually skipped it this year. It's like, man, you had to skip this one.
The McDonald's car he won the dual race win at Daytona is also a great scheme. Yeah, so I'll end with this. Great moment. Want to celebrate this moment. I've seen Bubba Wallace has done a ton of different media. He's made national headlines. First black driver in any major series to win on the Indianapolis Oval, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong with that.
It feels sports repetitive for that to always be one of the, like, that's the topic ESPN wants to lead with, but it is significant. You know, it is a piece of history.
It's significant for historical purposes. But I'll end with this. How far do you think he goes in the playoffs this year? Do you think he's a legit round of 8 contender? Or do you think it's first or second round?
Let me open up the NASCAR schedule and just kind of verify what I think of how he'll do.
There's no super speedway until the round of 8.
That's the thing. It's tough to judge, honestly. Like, they do get better. Kansas, that team's been good at in the past, but like, I can't seriously say that I'm like circling them as a round of 8 team, just because, I mean, again, this is a great win, but this team overall does not put big bodies of work together.
Yeah, that's they have a trouble stringing together big stretches.
If they could get him like a consistently, I don't know, top 15, top 12 speed in the first round, they might be able to get through that one. But I do have some concerns there. Darlington, I could see him being a dark horse to win that one, actually. But Kansas is in the round of 12. They can get him there. He's won that one before, so that's a good one to have in there.
Yeah, that's true.
He's decent to the Roval.
Yeah,
he's been decent in the past, top 10 speed.
Yeah, he can survive that race. That's not like a big win for him, but it's not a loss either.
I think, just to be safe, I'll say round of 12. I don't want to necessarily say he's round of 8, but I think he can at least get there.
I think round of 12 is a very realistic goal. Round of 8 should be the goal, but if they don't get there, I don't think it's a loss.
What Nick O says here, round of 8 is not impossible, though. That's exactly right. It's not impossible.
100%. And once you get to, the thing about this year, once you get to the round of 8 with Talladega, you could get to the championship for. It's just as easy.
I think Darlington Raceway is one that they got to get him as good of a finish there as possible.
Yep.
I'm not too confident about Gateway and Bristol for him.
Yeah, fair enough. He's had some good moments at Bristol. I'll say this before we move on. Shorty PJM in the chat. We'll look at super chats in a moment, but she's already sent in a few very celebratory super chats.
Very happy for her.
Big Bubba Wallace fan in the chat just about every week. Really appreciate over 600 of y'all watching live currently on YouTube. We appreciate all the Spotify and other podcast listeners that are catching this the day after. We'll move on, though, to talk about a few of the most notable incidents in this race. For one, overtime number 1 was cut short by Christopher Bell hooking Zane Smith. We'll talk about another. You guys, Jarrett shows the replay. It looks really bad. We'll talk about another right hook a little later, but this one looks awful. Visually looks as blatant as it gets. It's worth noting that Skip Flores on Twitter, also pit crew for Zane Smith, the 38 team, said on the Stacking Pennies podcast this week that after that incident, race ended shortly thereafter, Bell went to pit road and shook hands with and apologized to every member of the 38 team, including the road crew. He apparently went to the team hauler and apologized to everyone at the hauler as they were, of course, loading up their junked Aaron's Dream machine. So NASCAR obviously deemed this not to be intentional, just a bad misjudgment, likely trying to sling to the inside right before 3, late dive bomb. That's how you make passes. But that was it's the second or third time in as many weeks now Christopher Bell has run out of talent, let's say. Your reaction, Danny, to that crazy crash at the end of this one?
So all the big bully had to do was apologize, and he wouldn't do it.
If the big bully had been the bigger man, maybe he.
No, I'm just imagining him. He would be the guy that would be beating around an actual apology. Be like, hey, I wanted to say that I'm sorry you exist, and I'm sorry that
you were in my way.
We were in the track together, and
he'd be the adult equivalent of villain. Have you ever had a dream when you like that, and then in the background just be the bigger bunny bugs.
But no, and all back in all seriousness, back to Christopher Bell. I never saw this being egregious. It's final restart. Things are getting crazy out there. It was just a racing thing.
You wonder, and I thought about this after the fact. In the moment, I was just so shocked, and I'm like, that's so out of character for Bell. Not a mistake, but to like do something reckless like that on purpose. But after thinking about it, I almost wonder if NASCAR should have assessed him like a 2-lap reckless driving penalty. You know, you could say it wasn't on purpose, but maybe they could still say, hey, that was so freaking bad. We got to do something. Because he went on to finish 8th. Like, Bell finished top 10 in this race. Zane Smith was junked. I mean, I don't know. Maybe reckless driving penalties should be reserved for people intentionally doing stupid stuff. But, like, that was such a awful mistake that you could at least make the argument maybe going forward that could be officiated. But what do you think, Jarrett?
Well, so I think it definitely looked egregious, and I said live afterwards, like, I'd give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's earned that with the intentionality part of it. I will say, on the part of going to the 38 team, like, I respect the hell out of that, because I guarantee there were a few of those people who probably want to knock his lights out after that, because that is so much extra work they have to put into it.
Yeah.
Money that's coming out of the team. The team had a top 10 run going on. Like they
Yeah.
had some good speed going, and they got taken out by one of the guys who should be better than that. And I mean, I think that
Exactly.
being a big enough man to do that, like, yeah, that should be what they do. But we'll talk about him a bit. We saw what Austin Hill did. That really, to me, it reinforces too the claim that people have said that Bell has really become a leader in the garage among the drivers, NASCAR, all of that, leading by example. But I was with people like, I think NASCAR should have, and I think they did take a closer look at it. I mean, the thing is, with all the onboards, somebody would have posted a video of the two of them getting into it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I immediately went to Twitter, and then I went back and at least watched their in-car for the last couple of restarts and was like, I see no reason they'd be mad at each other. Like there was no altercation on track. I can't recall any history between these two. So no penalty, no intention. I think that's correct. But
Christopher Bell is like probably one of the more he's one of the most true neutral drivers you're going to find out there, I feel like.
The last couple of weeks, I'd consider him a chaotic neutral with all the spins and incidents he's been part of. But you're right. Well, that also, I want to mention a couple other incidents. So Bubba Wallace wins this race, but when that final green flag pit stop sequence cycled out, it was actually Joey Logano out front. Looked like Joey Logano maybe and Paul Wolfe were going to strategy their way to another big victory, but he blew a right rear tire like his teammate Austin Cindric did earlier in the race. 2 of the 3 Penske cars blew tires. The third one, Ryan Blaney, held on to finish 7th. Kind of just feels like the story of their season. Penske's a little off. They're pushing every way they can, pushing the air pressures, pushing the setup. Went a little too far, but it's Ryan Blaney ultimately holding that team together like the glue he has been the past couple of years. Anyway, your reactions, guys, to Logano, Blaney, Penske, like the last couple of weeks, it's been all Hendrick, all Gibbs. We're not talking about Penske. It's just they seem off.
Well, I mean, it's earlier in the season, we talked about how much more speed we thought they had than years past, and now they're just running how they've run in the past couple of years. Like, it's probably going to happen where the 12 and the 22, and maybe to a degree the 2, will probably get faster in the last 10 weeks or so, or at least at a certain few tracks. Like, this has kind of been what Penske has done for the most part, since the next gen came along. They've just more been mediocre or having issues. I think they're pushing the because the 22, of course, is up front, so I can't say it was that mediocre, but I think they're pushing the boundary at this point. They're far enough back in points. I don't know if the 22 is even going to be getting top 10 points and extra stuff like that. So you might as well go for the wins.
Yeah, he's in 12th now. He's close. He's knocking on that door. But it's at most he could grab a couple bonus points if all goes well.
But think of it like this: like if you're Joey Logano, like what's the maximum he's probably going to get for a top 10? Like 9th compared to a win.
Yeah, so I know exactly. I agree with you. You should be going for wins at this point, but I also don't think you should be just like blatantly experimenting. That's the one part. And obviously, it's worked for Penske the last 3 years. They've went on to win 3 straight championships at the end of the season. But the part that just boggles the mind is you'd think you'd at least want to be in a good rhythm at some point in the regular season, win a few races, collect those playoff points that are extremely important. I mean, Joey Logano would have been out in the round of 12 last year if not for a unfortunate Alex Bowman DQ. If he'd had more playoff points, he wouldn't have been as worried about that. So this whole narrative that they're intentionally sandbagging all year, I don't fully buy that. I think they take risks like Logano and Cindric did this past weekend, but I don't think they're sandbagging because playoff points are important. And we've seen that impact a lot of other teams in the past. But again, Penske obviously seems to know what they're doing. They've won 3 straight titles. I will say, as opposed to this time last year when we'd seen all 3 Penske cars win on a short flat oval, they've not won on a short flat oval yet this season. That's something I'm watching at Iowa in particular, where Blaney won 1 year ago. Couple other notables real quick. I mentioned this earlier, but Danny wearing the Live Fast shirt. Shout out to Live Fast Motorsports, our friends over there. Catherine Legg, it's kind of I hate to say it, she was sort of the laughing stock of the Cup Series her first couple attempts. It was a little in over her head, in a really awkward position, slow car, tough tracks in the way, but she's quickly rallied. I mean, road courses were on her schedule. She's good at road courses, held her own to come home 17th and stay on the lead lap pretty much all day in live fast equipment is noteworthy. So shout out to Catherine Legg and Shane Van Gisbergen, 19th place finish, solid bounce back after a disastrous Dover.
I told y'all he wasn't as good as, he wasn't contending by any means, but if you're a decent road course racer, this is a track you got to use a lot of brakes. That can translate well into it,
Yeah, you can see some other the whole finishing order scrolling beneath the screen here. I'll shout out a few other top 10 guys. Todd Gilliland, 6th. That's pretty cool. We know front row has struggled this year. Alex Bowman, top 10, important as he's trying to extend his points cushion on the bubble. Chris Buescher, meanwhile, is finished 14th. Ryan Priest rallied to finish just inside the top 5. So a few notable finishers there. William Byron, I'll also mention, 16th after running out of gas late. That's the second time in like 6 weeks that William Byron has run out of gas late. Happened to him at Michigan too. Cost him a top 5 there. Another top 5 out the window here. I don't know what's going on. If it's something Willie's doing behind the wheel, if Fugel and them are not calculating things appropriately, if the gas man's in trouble, I don't know what's going on there, but they can't keep running out of gas. They got to start finishing these races where they run. Ty Gibbs. Sorry, Jared, did you have a point?
I was about to say, like, with two really quick ones. One with the Byron thing, it's like Steve Letard, every time there's a fuel mileage thing, is like how everyone's going to run out and no one ever does. William Byron is the man holding it up for him. That's keeping it true. And for Catherine Legg's side, did y'all see the video of Catherine Legg's final restart? Because she made up a few spots on the final restart. She even passed Shane on the high side, I believe. Might have been racing beside him, but she raced up to 17th in a live fast car. Like that is actually pretty impressive. Love the guys that live fast, but
yeah, I mean, the parts and pieces are roughly the same, but they don't have the resources, the data, the engineering, the sim that every other big team does. So that it is an impressive finish for them. Ty Gibbs finishes 21st, but that's not what matters most. He wins the inaugural in-season challenge. $1 million headed to Joe Gibbs Racing. Ty Dillon, unfortunately, was caught up in a big stack up on a restart that took both RCR cars out of contention. Allmendinger, Suarez, a few others got damaged, including Ty Dillon. So Gibbs wins it almost by default. Reactions, gentlemen?
I wanted Ty to win, and I wanted Ty Dillon to win, I should say.
I did win. You're guaranteed a tie.
Yeah, we got a tie. But man, it would have been so cool if Ty Dillon won.
Well, like I said, I was either going to give him the kiss of death, my prediction, or else I was going to ride him to success. And I gave him the kiss of death, just like every person that I said from the start to the finish.
Do you think they'll bring it back next year? Because I know people talked about that.
I don't know.
I don't think it moved the needle from a rating standpoint. I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't.
I don't know the true
enough.
TV ratings. Maybe they're the simulcast got some numbers. I don't.
It was like 130,000 at max, like the maximum for it.
Yeah. So I mean, so TNT, I'm sure, played a role in the NBA creating an in-season tournament the last couple of years. The difference was that some of those games, once you got down to the finals, those regular season games actually did get increased ratings. They put them on national TV. I think the first year it was the Lakers making it to the finals. And so, of course, Lakers drew a big number. Problem you had this year with the in-season challenges, as fun as it was to talk about John Hunter Nemechek and Ty Dillon, those aren't box office names, unfortunately.
No.
All your box office names got knocked out in that big crash in Atlanta 5 weeks ago. So
Atlanta doesn't need to start it.
Exactly. If they do bring it back, I'm not saying we need, Larson versus Elliott in the final race every year, but you need to at least keep some of the big names alive to keep fans invested.
From the TNT perspective, I get why they wanted to start their coverage and them doing the in-season tournament. I get why they wanted to start it in Atlanta because they're based in Atlanta. It just made a lot of sense to them, but that is not the track to start this.
Hallie in the chat says sounded like from Holler Talk that it will be back. I wouldn't be surprised if the Altcast is gone next year.
Yeah.
Did you watch
that? Seems like a waste of resources.
I didn't watch any this week. I watched a few little minutes here and there in the past, but this week I can't imagine they had anything to talk about. Like, what are they talking about?
They brought Mark Martin on with Larry Mack, and it was so freaking awkward. because like he was talking with Burton just fine. They were shooting the shit, and then there'd like be these kind of weird pauses a little
Why
bit
did
with
they
Larry
do
Martin.
that?
With Matt. They probably, I
It was
mean,
probably scheduled
nobody
well in
watches that
advance.
damn thing, so they might as well try and get some people to it. It's funny because you could see like they're talking about like situational racing and all this other stuff, and like it always would go back to like Mark and Jeff talking because like somebody tagged me on Twitter like, dude, they got Mark Martin on the all cast. I'm like, no freaking way they would do that. And I turned it on. I'm like, well, damn, they do.
Wow.
Interesting.
And then the chat, the Z.
What's the Z for? I'm not in on the
They
joke.
showed a
Are
graphic.
they
on the-
sleeping?
no, they showed a graphic on the broadcast, and they didn't fill in the graphic. You know how they have placeholders? The
Oh,
placeholder was the letter Z for every line. And so I saw Brock Beard made the joke where he put the gif of was it, I think, Charlie the Unicorn, where it's just
Oh,
the
the big
giant
letter
letter
Z.
Z. I was like,
thought people would
Brock's a
make
real one.
a falling asleep joke. Yeah, shout out to Brock with some early YouTube references there. Appreciate that.
I
Respect
remember
that.
watching that when it came out at the lunch
Yeah.
table.
Oh God, classic. Yeah, I'd like to see it come back. Why not? I don't think it took away from anything. I just don't think it added a whole lot
yeah.
either,
I don't think it
aside
gave
from a
enough.
few memes. So bring it back, change the schedule a little, and rock and roll from there. That's how I feel.
Oh, that's
Folks-
right. Yeah, I did tell them. I'm like, well, just put the letter Z in there and see if either of them know what we're talking about.
Oh, I did notice it. I was gonna ask, but I'm glad it came up organically. Well, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is the second year of the Brickyard 400 since its return. Remember, it's been a few years of us racing on the road course. We went to that first road course race where the
We
curb
did.
destroyed half the field.
That's right.
Classic.
That was an experience.
That was an experience indeed. But the Brickyard 400 is back. It's clearly a special event to the drivers and the teams. And fans, I saw numbers that, last year they got a little over 70,000 in attendance. This year it was just under 70,000. 70,000 fans would fill at Phoenix Raceway twice, would fill Martinsville, would fill Darlington, would fill Homestead, and then some. It's a big number, but it looks bad on TV. I know there were a lot of critics on social media this week pointing to the gaps in the stands. I do remember like 10, 15 years ago when NASCAR was really first seeing a severe attendance decline, all the articles would show a photo of Indianapolis as like the poster child of look at all the empty seats. You got to remember that Indianapolis has like 250,000 seats. It's like, it might be the biggest stadium in the world. I'm not sure on that.
Well, no, they brought it down. It's like 235,000 now. It makes a huge difference.
Huge difference. Yeah. I mean, it'd be great if NASCAR could pack the stands like they did in the 90s, but it's not as culturally relevant. That's just the fact. We don't have that Gordon Earnhardt transcendent superstar that the mainstream public is familiar with. So 70,000 fans at any live sporting event with how many entertainment offerings, how hard it is to get people off their ass to go out and do things these days, to get 70,000 fans at a NASCAR race in the year 2025 is still a solid number. Again, would pack so many tracks on the schedule. It looks bad at Indy, though. I don't know. Danny, did you have a reaction to the critics of the attendance critics?
Well, here's the thing, and it looks bad at Indy. And a few years back, 2018, 2019, Bristol, I was at both of those. 2018 one, everyone was just scattered around. 2019, they literally didn't even sell tickets in the turns. Those kind of images, those are the ones that when you look at like, oh, NASCAR is dead. That's what they'll show you. And it sucks to see that. But at the same time, so I was talking to someone about the attendance and stuff, and it's like at the end of the day, the attendance really doesn't matter. That's just a bonus source of revenue to the tracks. The tracks, the sport, it's all fine because of TV revenue. 2020 taught us that because they could literally have COVID races with no one there. They didn't care. That didn't matter. It's not like they're dependent on we need to sell tickets to survive and keep our track open. They're going to make plenty of revenue from TV. That really that's an extra bonus. Like that just helps them get a little bit more profit at the end of the year to sell their tickets, honestly.
Somebody brought it up in the chat and I think they said it was roughly 70,000, maybe a little over, under, whatever. It was like 5,000 off last year. And I'm looking at the seating capacity for NFL stadiums, and that race would have basically sold out or nearly sold out all but maybe a couple. Like MetLife, Lambeau, and Jerry World are about the only ones that you might have actually seen big gaps in the stands with that. And so I think it's important to put that in perspective. And I get the fixation. Like, it doesn't look good. We all knew it wasn't going to look good.
Mm-hmm.
And I like 2018, 19, I remember I was fixated on that. But at the same time, that was like 4 or 5 years after the Brickyard really started to nosedive in attendance numbers. I mean, 70,000, I'm looking at rough estimates people have had this year of attendance. And the Daytona 500, maybe Texas, the 600, Pocono, and like maybe Mexico, based on some of the estimates. Like, maybe those are about the only ones that could clear cut beat Indianapolis with this. Like, that's
Yeah,
for
this
a
was
second year
probably
back.
This was probably the 6th best attendance of the season. Like, this was
Yeah.
And
For
the
some,
rest, I'm just at the rest of the year, like, what else is really going to beat it? Like, I'm looking through, and it's like, okay, Bristol Knight probably will, and then maybe Watkins Glen.
Maybe Watkins Glen, if you count all the campgrounds.
Probably Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
And really, I don't know about Bristol night race. The racing part has been going down, and that's the same day as Tennessee, Georgia, and Knoxville. So I don't know if you're going to lose a lot of your local crowd for that one.
Well, and what's funny is that the same people that are complaining about this are this week going to be talking about the amazing crowd in Iowa, or going to be talking about the sold out 40,000 in Darlington for the Southern 500 or whatever it is now. Or, like if Talladega has a ton of attendance, that's roughly the same as 70,000 at this point.
But that's the thing though. Like, those races are in perfect places where they don't get a lot of big things around them to distract them from going to this NASCAR event. In Iowa, what are you actually gonna do? Caitlin Clark effect is out of there, so that's a big deal now for Iowa.
Well, they kind of nuked the IndyCar one too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was my point earlier, is people are so distracted now. There are so many other options. It's very difficult to get 100,000 people to a sporting event.
For some reference to the about 70,000 that was there, I did look it up, Jarrett. Nissan Stadium here in Nashville. We went to the Titans-Vikings game last year. It holds 69,143 people as its capacity. And the new Nissan Stadium we're building, it's actually going to go down. It's designed to hold approximately 60,000.
Yeah, I hope people also realize that is a trend in sports right now. Most rebuilt stadiums actually lower the attendance because it's so much tougher, and a lot of these leagues have blackout rules. Bristol
Motor Speedway has actually been doing it. They've been working on cutting back some of their allowed places, because they're putting in a lot of those things that have drink rails, making it a little bit more comfortable for less fans.
And they widen the seats too.
Yeah.
Well, so the thing though is, like, these are all reasons. I don't want them to become excuses. Like, they should, like, now, like, we knew year 2 was going to go down a little bit, and it was noticeable a little bit less than last year. But how do they build this event more? How do they build it to year 3, year 4? Like, because if it keeps going down, then we're right back into the problem we had 2018.
Exactly. Back to the road course, or do we bail entirely? And you'd hate to bail on, like, maybe the most famous track in the world. Like, you'd hate to leave that when it's in your home country, in your backyard, essentially. Thoughts on TNT? 5 races in, 5 races down. We're switching over to NBC/USA this weekend. What do you guys think of TNT's return?
About as good as we remember it.
Yeah,
and that's not saying anything.
Yeah, I give it a C.
I just don't know how, like, you literally had the same talent pool as Prime, basically, and it just didn't feel close to the same at all.
Just production. I mean, to me, it all boiled down to production. Like, the on-air talent, like in the pits, I thought they did a fine job. I think, like, Daniel Trotta and Alan Cavana seemed a little green at first because it was a new role. But, like, the booth had chemistry for the most part and was fine. The issues for me came for production. It was the sound. It was the camera angles. It was, and listen, I like the in-season challenge. I want it brought back next year. But the first 2-3 races, like, the main broadcast at times would focus more on that than, like, the actual race. Like, for instance, after Indianapolis, They interviewed the winner of the in-season challenge and showed the whole bracket before they even showed the points. Like, there's 4 races to go to the playoffs. We're having this big discussion of the importance of everything going on, and you're showing the just for fun bracket that really doesn't freaking matter to anyone but Ty Gibbs at this point. So it just felt like, if and from what Dale Jr. said, is there were a lot of new people and it was a new crew. I think they'll be better next year and be more focused and fix stuff. But like this year, no, I mean, it was better than Fox, but it's not saying much.
I agree with what the chat is saying. I don't want to give them an F. I'll give them a Z.
Z.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't great. I think they hit rock bottom at Chicago. I felt their last couple broadcasts were serviceable. You just hope it gets better.
I thought the Brickyard was the best one they had, other than the Z thing. Like, I really didn't see too many problems, honestly. Like, I thought it was a decent broadcast.
You know who could have produced this better?
Who?
A monkey.
A monkey.
All I can say is, like, Fox, for all their issues, has tried new things in the past, introduced new camera angles, the little microscopic, in helmet cams and different things. Amazon introduced, a new looking pre and post race show, and the burn bar and other things. What did TNT introduce?
I don't know if they introduced anything.
Did they do anything different or anything?
I'll give them credit, no matter what. Even if it went way over the window, they did still do a 30-minute post-race show.
They did.
I'll give them credit there. Like, they deserve credit.
A good point. I appreciate you saying that. That's a good point. But yeah, my whole hope this year with spreading the coverage across multiple networks is that I wanted the new guys to come in and bring something new to the table. Amazon did. I felt like TNT didn't really.
To be fair, Bailey, I think Danny, you and I are looking at the same one, aren't we?
Yeah, Bailey said they brought an alt cast.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, fair enough. They did bring an alt cast that apparently
no one cared, but they brought it.
Good point. Like, they added an alt cast. I'll give you that.
We got the NASCAR broadcast. Don't worry, we have the NASCAR broadcast at home.
Actually, I'll say something they brought, and it wasn't really for these 5 races, but HBO Max has introduced the in-car cameras on HBO Max, which has been really, really cool, really important in going back and dissecting incidents, analyzing big moments. So that wasn't really anything to do with their TV coverage, but that is something positive that Turner has brought to the table. So I'll give them, got to be fair. We are all about fairness on this show. Got to be fair on that front. Well, let's take a look at the points real quick. Look at us. We're just as guilty as TNT. We talked about the in-season challenge before we talked about the bubble. What are we doing here? But let's look at the wrong now.
Hey, to be fair, we are getting close to the cut line. So yeah,
4 races to go. He's not pictured here, but I'll mention Alex Bowman is plus 63.
You might as well have him pictured.
He's plus 63, but yes, with Bubba Wallace winning, the main gap there, 16th to 17th, Busher to Priest, is 42 points, a huge deficit. I mean, you could make that up in one race, but it would be hard to do so. Guys, how you feeling? We all on this show, I think we all unanimously agreed that, hey, the cut line was going to move again. It did. Do you think it moves again? Do you think Busher is already on the outside? Do you think it's Bowman at the cutoff? What do you guys think?
Man, imagine if we were in a scenario right now where Hocevar had won when he had a lot of speed in the middle of the year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True.
I mean, he was even up front at times in this race too.
He was top 10 at Indy. Finished
the dude has speed, but he's like horrible in points because the dude has no luck. It's hard for me to say that it's going to keep moving just because you got 2 short tracks, which maybe we can have Austin Dillon, go up there and have something happen and not have to.
He's going to get double the track time this weekend.
Like Kyle Busch last year, RCR last year. Don't rule out Kyle Busch.
But but for the most part, those races tend to favor the more established teams. The road courses, we're probably looking at SVG being the favorite again, better car than he had last year, and he was racing for the win. Granted, he did lose to the 17. To me, it's just all Daytona. So, they should probably approach it that way, but I honestly do think points are probably going to be the main focus at this point.
I feel like it is going to move one more time, but there's a great chance that it comes from a Bowman or Busher win. I could see one of those guys being the ones to win. But Ty Gibbs has come on strong lately. Chris Gabehart, it sounds like, is officially the crew chief. Like, I don't know what the entry list says, but the way they talked about it on the broadcast, I don't know if Tyler Allen's even on the box anymore. Who else is up in there? Then, road courses, I don't think Allmendinger is good enough to win. I just don't think that car is good enough. McDowell was interesting at Chicago, so I wouldn't rule out a McDowell upset. And then there is Daytona, which last year it was Parker, Retzloff, and Harrison Burton battling for the win down the stretch. Kyle Busch, of course, as well. Like, I do feel 4 races to go. I could see at least 2 of them resulting in a surprise winner, so to speak. So I think it'll move one more time. If I had to guess, I think Bowman is actually on the bubble right now, and Buescher probably needs to win.
I admittedly don't remember much about Iowa last year, but I'm looking back at the results of that. Blaney won, Byron second, Elliott third, Bell 4th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finished 5th in this race. I don't really remember that.
He took 2 tires at some point and was just good enough to hold track position for better than most.
I think as the night went on too, as they went from dark to closer and cooling down into the night, the track got a lot more difficult to pass on too, if I'm not mistaken. So that might have to do with it.
Logano was 6th, Barry was 7th, Alex Bowman was 8th. It says Bowman started 33rd in that one and got finished 8th. Suarez was 9th, and Brad Keselowski was the top 10. I do remember Kyle Larson led a lot, was contending a lot. Once he finished second stage 1 and one stage 2, and he got wrecked, so he finished 34th.
Yeah, that was the wreck with Suarez, I think, on a restart. I feel like Priest, Gibbs, McDowell, or Buescher himself could win a race these next 4 weeks. Buescher's won at Richmond in the past, and Watkins Glen, and Daytona.
He's won Daytona.
Yeah, so I mean,
Murderers Row, man.
I'm just saying these are good tracks coming up for a lot of these bubble guys. It'll be interesting to watch.
Murderers Row for the field.
Bowman has won Richmond.
Yeah, we'll look at some numbers next. I think we got to move on. The Brickyard 400, talking about TV, earned 2.45 million viewers on TNT, which is down 32% from last year's race, which was on network television, big NBC. This was the lowest watched Brickyard 400 ever. This also may have been the first Brickyard 400, at least non-delayed Brickyard 400 to be on cable. Don't quote me on that.
NBC Sports had, I think, a year or 2 of it. Back in like 16 or 17 or something.
Back still in the Dale Jr. era. Okay, we have 8 after Dale Jr., before Dale Jr. Yes. So if we average out the last 5 weeks, TNT averaged 2.07 million viewers per Cup race, which is roughly flat with what Amazon Prime did. They're actually down 1.5% from what Prime did over 5 weeks. Now, Prime did have a crown jewel in the Coca-Cola 600 Memorial Day weekend. That was a big win to start things off. But I think that's pretty remarkable that streaming in its first year with a NASCAR audience actually beat the cable channel. I think that's kind of noteworthy, personally. But Xfinity Series ratings continue to be red hot. They earned 1.1 million viewers. That's plus 23% from last year's race weekend. Race peaked at 1.3 million viewers. This was despite some of those rain delays. And then the Truck Series at Lime Rock Park a few years ago, we just are getting these numbers now, earned 616,000 viewers on Big Fox. Noteworthy because that's not far off from what IndyCar has been pulling in on Big Fox most weeks. So
I'm just realizing
numbers for trucks.
Did you say a few weeks ago or a few years ago?
I meant to say a few weeks. If I said a few years, I meant a few weeks.
Feels like a few years at this point.
I fallen asleep during that race, to be fair, with Heim had like a 12-second lead at one point, whatever it was. The poll, time for the famous iceberg poll. 11,000 fans voted on what they thought of the 2025 Brickyard 400. 16% of voters said it was a great race. 53% called it good. 23% said this was an average race. 8% had a negative opinion of this event. So that's a 69% total positivity to only 8% negative.
Oh my gosh.
Now our graphic system have glitched here on NWP. Sorry, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Goodness gracious. But Jared, do you have a few comments that you'd like to share from the poll this week?
Yeah, and I have a few stats that I can share too. With it being nice, 69% positive, this was actually the most positively voted of the 4 Brickyard 400s in the poll.
Cool.
Dang, we've only had 4 because of all the weirdness.
Yeah, it beat 2020, which was 68%. And then it's the only Indy race that was higher was 2023's Indy road course race. So, you know, there is that to look at. First comment came from Calypso. Positive, negative, or meme?
Oh, definitely a meme.
Probably a meme.
Ha 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 ha. You know something, Jared? I hope you never finish the novel. It's just too much fun ruining NASCAR fans' day. You decide when my fun is done. But until then, I'm having too much fun deploying my reign on NASCAR races. Ha 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 ha.
He's Jared secretly reading the novel to his infant who can't understand any of it.
No. I read like 12, 15, whatever it was, chapters live, and I'm not doing that again.
You're a brave man for just doing that, frankly.
It was bad. It was so bad. NASCAR Jack says, bro, I swear there's been like 3 races now where the boot's like, the leader cannot make it, and he makes it. I feel like it's so over-dramatized.
The boy who cried, I'm low on fuel.
William Byron is, again, he is keeping the tension there because he keeps running out of fuel when we least expect it.
Too Tough Saint says, Bubba survived Mother Nature 2 overtimes, and Kyle Larson, he did one hell of a job.
Surviving Kyle Larson, considering how he restarted earlier in the weekend, might have been his greatest feat.
Alex says, Denny Hamlin officially won every crown jewel, just not all as a driver.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah.
Still got to kiss the bricks.
OBG.
Tony Stewart technically won the Daytona 500, but as an owner.
That's right.
Mm.
OBG, the dirty air on this car is getting ridiculous at this point.
I mean, yeah, it's a high-speed one-lane track. I'm not surprised that it was bad.
Kyle points out there were no passes for the lead all day on track.
And it looked a lot like the Pocono race from a few weeks ago, and I feel like they're very similar tracks.
Anthony says, great, because my favorite driver won.
Cool.
Yeah. And Cornflake says, Facebook is in ruins right now.
Melting down.
Facebook was going to be bad no matter how that ended. They were either going to be Maddie won, or they were going to go ballistic if they had a reason to say, oh, we couldn't close it.
Well, with that being said, you want to head to the gutter?
Yeah.
Sure.
Gutter's going to be bad for this one.
Sports Guy says, terrible racing. Overtime is some bullshit. Next gen fuel saving is terrible. Strategy was actually good until you remember how shitty the next gen makes fuel saving.
Hey, you know what? Shockingly, nothing personal at the winner. So that's a win.
Austin says, I'm a Larson fan, far from a Bubba fan, but I'm not even mad.
And that got
downloaded
downloaded?
Gutter.
What is happening?
It's positive about Bubba.
Mm.
And Red View, this is the one where I was like, oh boy.
Red View.
Yeah, REDVUE.
Okay, let's go.
I just want everyone to know, if this gets clipped out of context, this is not me saying it. This is the gutter. Any race Wallace wins is awful. People who fake hate crimes have no business in the sport. If he wants to call the fan base racist, I'll show him racist. I was like, what?
Whoa.
No.
Oh, why I oughta.
It's like he didn't live long enough to see himself become the villain. He was the villain.
He said he needed. It took very little to tip this person over the edge. It seems
I think he was over
they were
the
waiting
edge.
for an excuse.
Man, this dude was hanging off. He was hanging off the cliff already and just was ready to jump.
See, it's people like that where if he tried to hide it, they would say, "Oh, you must be a racist," and he would just say, "Yes."
And that's why when you see that commenter, go after him.
Yeah,
on Minecraft.
We might see them. I might see them in the gutter again before long.
You should destroy his house in Minecraft.
Well, that was the poll, the very real world poll. Unfortunately, that was the famous iceberg poll. Appreciate you all voting on that. We're nearing the top of the hour. We will get to our first super chat stage break before long. Really do appreciate all of the support, folks. But we got to talk about the Xfinity and the Truck Series race. Trucks will be quick, so don't worry there. Xfinity might take a few minutes. Connor Zilich wins again, gets Junior Motorsports their 100th victory. This is Zilich's 5th win now. 3rd in a row? Am I mistaking that?
Nope.
3 wins in a row for the now 19-year-old. It's less impressive now because he's 19, not 18. The 19-year-old rookie 3 wins in a row. Insane stuff. Was able to make that pass late on Taylor Gray, I believe was who he was racing, got him loose, got a push from Sam Mayer. It was great stuff. I mean, it's, remember the Xfinity Series package here is like a mini Daytona, kind of a high drag drafting type package. Zilich has never experienced this in his life. Indy for one, but racing Indy with high drag for two. Never experienced that. Looked like a vet, gets the win. Jarrett, how good is this kid right now?
He's top tier. I mean, he's got it underneath him. I think it is worth noting that he did get the lead and get in position to win too, because Kyle Larson kind of ran out of talent and crashed Justin Allgaier.
That's fair.
But
that's fair.
I want to bring up the point I brought up Saturday, is that not every race is somebody who's awesome going to dominate, right? No driver ever dominates every race unless their car is leagues better with like factory support and cheating and everything else, right? You have to put yourself in position. And Zilich has done that too. In the races he hasn't dominated, he puts himself in position. And let's be honest too. I mean, since he got injured, I think he has a 2.1 average finish.
9 straight top 5s, 4 victories. I think 3 of those 4 wins have come at ovals. Sure, Dover was rain shortened, but he led the most laps in that race, was running away with it at times. I mean, you're right. He didn't dominate Indy, but he was in the top 3, top 4. When Larson made a bad mistake and took out the points leader, it opened the door for Zilich, who still had to work for it. Again, because of how the draft works, guys could get an advantage. He still had to work his way around Taylor Gray, and it was so hard to pass on your own out there. Deserves a lot of credit. That regular season points fight in the Xfinity Series now, I believe, is down to 21 points. Allgaier leads Zilich by just 21, so they have 5 races to go. That could be a lot closer, especially with all the road courses coming up. That will play to Connor Zilich's favor. Any reaction to Larson, Allgaier? I don't know if you guys had any thoughts. Like, I just looked at it and said, damn, that sucks. But like, obviously he didn't mean to do it. That's a quasi teammate there. That's
Larson. I mean, Larson's going to do, for every amazing thing he does 1 or 2 dumbass things that you're like, how did you're in an Xfinity car that's like neutered down and you still manage to overdrive it and wreck somebody who is, I'll say, if I'm Justin Allgaier and I end up losing that regular season or get eliminated,
close,
like I'm gonna have a word with, if he hasn't already, have a word with Kyle Larson, because what the hell are you doing, man?
They should re-enter Larson into the Daytona race, and his sole assignment should be push Justin Allgaier. That is your punishment. You are not to leave the 7 cars bumper all night.
How many Xfinity races did he run this year?
Larson? Oh, he's definitely run a few. I don't know if he's hit 5 yet.
Because he had the one where he dominated Bristol. He filled in for Zilich. He had this one.
He did Homestead, didn't he?
He did Homestead. So, did he reach? Is there one more we're not thinking of, and he reached his 5?
Chat, if you're able to pull up, some of you are able to pull up Racing Malik Reference or whatever. Let me know. Has he done 4? Malik in the chat says 4. Jimmy says 4. All right, he's got 1 to go. He's going to have to use it at Daytona.
Well, let's see. Is he doing Watkins Glen, or is Corey Day going to be in the car?
No, he's lost that privilege now. Now they're gonna put someone else in that car, and they're gonna say, Larson, you have to do Daytona and be his dancing.
It'd be amazing if they had 5 JRM cars and then a Hendrick car, and they still managed to implode at the end,
just like 2 or 3 years ago.
So while y'all were talking about that, I was kind of looking into some stuff here, some fun facts. So that was his 3rd win in a row, and I'm thinking of where's that put him? And if he tries to go, if he tries to win Iowa this weekend, what would that put him at? It would actually, if this is correct, it would put him in a 3-way tie for the most Xfinity Series wins in a row at 4, which is a record that is currently held by. Can you guys guess the drivers?
Kyle Busch.
That's not showing.
Sam Ard.
What?
Yeah, Sam Ard.
Mark Martin.
Okay. Tommy Houston.
No.
Dale Jr.
Nope.
Chase Elliott Jr.
Well, you're warm with the pick before that.
I'm warm with Dale Jr. Matt Kenseth.
No, you're getting colder
Same
now.
year. Oh Jesus. This must be how you guys feel in the random driver segment.
Ty Gibb.
No, you're very cold on that one.
Noah Gragson.
Yes.
Oh,
shit!
4?
That's right.
I forgot about that.
That's wow. I think I was at one of those races. Richmond was one of them.
He won in 2022. Gragson won 4 straight races, winning Darlington, Kansas, Bristol, and Texas.
Nope. So I wasn't. I was wrong.
Well, so who are the two? It's Sam Ard and Noah Gregson.
Yes, and then for more context, Indy, the most consecutive wins ever is not going to be broken because that was I think Richard Petty won like 10 in a row at one time.
Xfinity races?
No, just races in general.
Oh.
But in terms of how he looks in terms of other series, in the Cup Series, this says the most NASCAR wins in a row of the modern era. Is 8 different drivers won 4 in a row in Cup. That was Kel Yarborough, Darrell Waltrip, Dale Earnhardt, Harry Gant, Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, and Jimmy Johnson all won 4 races in a row in their Cup Series careers. And then Ron Hornaday won 5 Truck Series races in a row in 2009 in the Truck Series.
Yeah, I think though those truck ones too. You don't have as many races to do that too. So that's
honestly, of all of those, I think the Hornaday one in 2009 was one of the most impressive ones because you still had Kyle Busch who would come race with you pretty consistently there too.
Well, Connor Zilic certainly on a generational run, considering his age, his lack of stock car experience up until the last couple of years, doing really impressive things. All right, we need to get into Austin Hill's act of terrorism, you might say.
Big bully.
The big bully, as our chat is known to call him, got himself in some hot water late in the race, gets moved by
a bully doing bully things,
and turns left and ships Almirola head on into the outside, not even safe for barrier, into the wall.
But watch the gloves.
Watch those hands. Great save. Austin, what a save. He's got it saved. And he just turns left. Yeah.
Andy got Creed involved too. One last F you to Creed.
Yeah, naturally, of course.
So
Danny froze. But yes.
Yeah.
Bad move by Austin Hill. Lost his cool for a moment there. It intentionally hooked Almirola into the wall. Almirola said it was one of the hardest hits of his career, compared it to when he hurt his back at Kansas, I think 7-8 years ago. So bad deal, bad situation all around. NASCAR parked Hill for 5 laps on pit road Saturday afternoon, which prompted a radio tirade. Austin Hill MFing NASCAR race control over the radio. And then this week, Tuesday evening, NASCAR handed out a 1-race suspension. So Austin Hill will not compete at Iowa this Saturday. We already know that Austin Dillon, somewhat ironic, will fill in for Austin Hill this weekend.
He's going to be, I'm Austin Hillin.
Just Austin Villain.
Don't be the Austin Villain that we saw at Richmond last summer around this same time. That's all we can ask for. But
it's very ironic we don't have a man named Hill in the weekend that we got the King of the Hill cars.
Oh, man. But Austin Hill, that boy ain't right.
That boy ain't right.
Austin Hill, not only is he suspended for a week, that's become pretty standard. NASCAR suspended Bubba Wallace for a week when he right-reared Larson at high speeds. Chase Elliott got a 1-week vacation for right-rearing Hamlin. High-speed oval. Indy's a high-speed oval. But besides the 1-race suspension, new this year, Austin Hill will lose all of his playoff points once he's granted a playoff waiver. So he doesn't lose his playoff eligibility, but he's currently earned up to 21 playoff points. That doesn't include what he would earn the rest of the season, plus where he'd finish in the regular season points. He's going to lose close to 30 playoff points.
That hurts worse than missing this race, in my opinion.
I mean, yes, I think it definitely does. And it's why NASCAR clearly had to feel very strongly that this was not only intentional, but egregious. And so they made the call. Danny, do you think they got this call right? We'll start there. And then, Jared, I'll ask you the same question.
100%. They got it right. It was the right call in this decision because, this isn't his first strike. This is he should have been out at this point. He should already had his 3rd strike at this point. So it's something that he's got to learn that, and this might be part of the reason he might be an Xfinity lifer. He might not be mature enough for the Cup Series if this is the way he races against who, as of a few years ago, was a Cup Series talent. Now Eric Almirola. He's got to be able to control that temper, and I hate to say it, but racing for Richard Childress, who didn't we see how he reacts to these situations and kind of more or less throws a temper tantrum, you reflect the boss at times. So it kind of goes back to, management of the team.
Yeah, I think it's the right call. I would have been okay Like I'm just fine with this. I think, like I said, right call. I would have been okay if they did an extra week even.
Ooh.
Like Jeff Gluck brought it up. He's like, we should not be having a conversation on like, is he suspended or not? It should be how many weeks. And I'm right with them. I mean, that I don't care how, bogged down the cars are comparatively. You crash somebody. This is to me, this is the most egregious, right? Because the other ones we saw with like Bubba and Larson or Chase and Denny, like those are 1.5 mile tracks, high speed tracks. Yes. Indianapolis is a different freaking beast. This is like, to me, this is the equivalent of, like doing this at Pocono or doing this at Daytona Talladega, size and speed wise. Like, the safer barrier talk, I think probably changes it for NASCAR. It shouldn't change it in general. I don't know why there wasn't one there to begin with.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just every single thing that Austin Hill and Richard Childress did was the exact wrong way to handle the situation. Okay, so you have an amazing save. I agree. I thought
Great
it was
save.
an awesome save.
Oh, heck yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like Eric Almirola, if there's anyone that like you probably shouldn't, might not have as much lenience towards and feeling bad for, is probably Eric Almirola, but for how he races people in the Xfinity series. No one deserves the right hook. So that you give the great save and then you right hook the guy. Wrong thing to do. Absolute wrong thing to do. Going on there and immediately, I didn't mean to rear hook him like that. And I'm like, okay, like
shucks.
Yeah, okay, whatever. That's neither here nor there. I can't say that's necessarily the wrong thing. But then to go on pit road when you're penalized and to go on an expletive-filled just tirade for the 5 laps you're penalized, cussing. I mean, ask Kyle Busch how much that helps you out.
Yeah.
It doesn't. That is the dumbest thing, like dumbest chain of events you could have done to make yourself look as guilty as possible. And let's be honest, NASCAR, they go by precedent, but at the same time too,
they go by feeling.
They can be a little sensitive. They can. We've seen a little bit of that before. It's just Richard Childress Racing right now. I think I don't know if it was you, Eric, that said, or who was just. They're an embarrassment right now. They're the Richard Childress is the Jerry Jones of NASCAR, and RCR is the Dallas Cowboys right now. But the Cowboys win more games. Yeah,
at least the Cowboys make the playoffs most years
off of merit.
Yeah, no, I agree to Danny's point earlier. I think the penalty is right. We could talk about adding races. I don't know. I'd put this at a similar level of what Bubba Wallace did. Bubba Wallace, remember, his was also. The optics were even worse because he then got out of the car and physically confronted Larson. So, I don't know. It was a lack of awareness.
It's comparable to Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin a couple years ago.
Yeah. So, I think the 1 race suspension with the playoff point penalty is probably fair. But no, to Danny's point, though, you can't give Austin Hill the benefit of the doubt because he's made several questionable moves throughout his racing career. He's punched out Myatt Snyder on pit road. We remember that. Haven't seen Myatt Snyder since. I mean, I'm only half joking.
Legend says he's still flying.
He intentionally wrecked Cole Custer under caution last year, if you remember that. I can't remember if he was penalized or fined or anything for that, but he did do that last year, clear as day. And he's also one of the most aggressive racers in the sport. He got into it with his own teammate at Sheldon Creed a couple years ago at Martinsville.
Very public falling out between them.
Exactly. And this year at Martinsville, he did go on to win the race, not before he triggered at least 1 or 2 of the big wrecks that took some of the leaders out. So,
and do you remember what he said afterwards, too?
That he was going to be a steward of clean, dry. He's like, I want to be the role model. I'm going to set the standard as the veteran of the sport. This is how racing should be. You just can't take anything Austin Hill says seriously. And to your point then, Jared, you can't take any part of Richard Childress Racing seriously at this moment because they're just not a serious organization. Even when they win races, they do it the wrong way. Richard Childress is out of touch and outdated. And it's hard to root for this team. Everyone wants to root for Kyle Busch to get another win, but RCR is squandering this opportunity, both on the track and then they're saying all the wrong things off it too.
I'll say so far I think there's one innocent person at RCR, Jesse Love. He's the only one I can't think of that's gotten himself into stupid.
And he might be out after this year.
I don't blame him.
Jesse Love is more like he's in the RCR hotel. He's just stopping by for a little bit.
Like everyone was like, Kyle Busch is innocent. Oh, but everyone remembers the fight. Does everyone forget what caused that fight when he pretty much dumped Ricky Stenhouse like 2 laps into the All-Star race? Like that, he wasn't innocent there.
No, yeah, it's just so unprofessional, even down to the timing couldn't be worse when they lost Tyler Reddick. Like even just the statements, the way their social media was handled a couple years back. It's just it all feels it's run like a mom and pop shop, which is endearing in some ways. But when we're talking about big league motorsports and you have superstar athletes like a Kyle Busch, for example, whose legacy, whose career is on the line, there's got to be more professionalism. And Richard Childress will spout off whatever he's thinking. He'll always defend his guys. I'll give him credit for that. But you don't have to voice every opinion publicly to the media. You can't call your own driver who's under contract an idiot like he did a couple of years ago. There's got to be, what's the word? I guess presentation matters. And right now, RCR presents themselves as a very discombobulated organization. And it's not one that I can take seriously right now as a legit contender.
Why do I have a bad feeling that in like, I don't know how old it is, 6 or 7 years or so, we're going to see an announcement. Bricks and Busch is signing with Spire Motorsports, Junior Motorsports, someone like that, to run the Xfinity Series. And all of a sudden, we're going to see Richard Childress Racing say the timing of this announcement couldn't be much worse. And then Richard Childress say, I handed that young man $100 bill. We had a handshake deal. He's going to drive for me.
Well, I mean, if you want, I got the clip of what he said this past week.
Sure.
Via Dustin Long.
Nothing. I'll be in bigger trouble than I already am with NASCAR, period.
Do you think Dillon should be suspended?
Do what?
Do you think Austin should be suspended?
Hell no. They didn't do a damn thing to the 2 car when he wrecked tight and admitted to it, drove him in the right rear and wrecked him at Coda. It's who you are. We're a blue-collar team. They give us trouble all the time.
They ain't been a blue-collar team in years.
Yeah, well, I was about to say the guy that's worth $250 million owns a vineyard and all this other stuff. Like the blue collar stuff doesn't work for me on that side of it.
It's like you might wear the Bass Pro hat. Them literally they do have Bass Pro. You might wear the Bass Pro hat. That don't mean you're blue collar.
It's just the woe is me thing. That's what I'm getting at with like just you gotta show professionalism. Presentation does matter, and they don't show that's wildly entertaining, but that's not the most professional way of going about it. And you just can't help but feel like Richard Childress is enabling some of this, I don't want to say bad behavior, but these poor decisions. I'm sure he patted Austin Dillon on the shoulder after what happened at Richmond last year. I'm sure he's patted Austin Hill on the shoulder several times over the years. This woe is me, NASCAR's out to get us perspective isn't actually going to help you move forward. It's excuses, frankly. Like, hey, own up to when your drivers make mistakes. It's unfortunate, but everyone makes mistakes. Own up to it and go from there. And they just, in the moment at least, they hesitate to do so. So it's
just
rough look.
Growing up, and you guys have both been up to my grandpa's house, like big Earnhardt fan. There's 3 and RCR stuff everywhere. I even got my grandpa like the little cards, that the teams give out. Like I had Richard Childress sign the 7-time champion one. It's hanging in his garage. Like growing up, Richard Childress and Richard Childress Racing was looked at in reverence. Like even if they fell off. And yes, obviously, I mean, definitely with what they've accomplished. And that team, everyone's like, oh, it started when Dale died. No, that team, it fell off for a bit, but they came back. They had great drivers. They had, they had Jeff Burton, Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer.
And they won with all of them.
They won with all of them. They won, they had Ryan Newman even did.
They got Paul Menard to win.
Yeah. I mean, that team, like they were pretty decent. And ever since Kevin Harvick left, that team has just done everything it can. I think we talked about this last week, just done everything it can to every time it has a chance, they manage to screw it up or they do something stupid. And it's just like up and down, up and down. They're so frustrating, man. And I want to see this team do well. I want to see them. I want to see Kyle Busch compete for wins again. I want to see the 3-car look like it should, live up to the legacy, the same way I want to see the 43 do that. Like they're so frustrating at this point for just the constant lack of awareness ever.
They will always seem to, in terms of their Cup Series program, They always seem to do really good right at the start of a new car. They did really good to start at Gen 6. They're really good at the start of the next gen. But then they get complacent, and it's like they think that what they're doing is working while everyone else is realizing this is not working, and they're adapting. They're just staying complacent.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that it was 2 weeks ago, Richard Childress seemed to finally have this awakening. Hey, we need better race cars.
He just woke up and said, "Hey,
wait a second.
Do we have race cars? What
are we like not that good right now?
Are
Wait
we
a minute. Yeah, I just that's the out of touch that I think I was
the
getting at
problem.
earlier.
No, it's the children we should blame.
But that was Austin Hill and the fallout. Team will not appeal the penalty. Hill will be out this week. Austin Dillon driving the car at Iowa. And then we'll move on from there. Austin Hill will begin the playoffs with 0 playoff points. No matter what happens, big hill to climb.
The thing is, with the Xfinity Series playoff schedule, the first round is Bristol, Kansas, and the Roval, all of which I think he's got a good shot at doing well in all of those. And then if he gets to the round of 8, Talladega's there. And we know he's going to do well there.
Yeah, he's still got a shot, but the margin for error got a lot smaller now. So before we move on to the truck race, and actually I think we'll sneak a super chat stage break in here in just a moment. The playoff cut line battle for the Xfinity Series with 5 races to go. Taylor Gray is 59 points to the good. Jeb still holding on to the 12th and final spot, plus 10. Harrison, his cousin, right, minus 10. And then Ryan Sieg still in the picture, 20 points back. Close fight here.
Now imagine they had just said, Austin Hill, you don't get to be in the playoffs, and then that's how both Burtons got in.
Ooh,
I wish. I want Ryan Sieg to make it. I want Harrison to make it. And I know that they can't all make it because every single one of those drivers, I actually like. I want to see them.
Yeah, I'm kind of rooting for all of them. Yeah, I'm with you there. But anyway, that's the Xfinity Series race. Let's do a super chat stage break because we're
truck race is easy. Lane Riggs whooped them.
I mean, yeah, I guess we could just do trucks.
There's some more to talk about in the trucks. If you want to go ahead and knock out the stage.
Well, we can knock out the trucks. Lane Riggs gets the win. Credit to him. Corey Heim was not looking forward to that 4, 5, 6 week break, whatever it was. But before we really get into trucks or really move on with the rest of the show, Stuart Friesen finished 3rd in that race, but then failed post-race inspection. I saw today that their appeal was denied, unfortunately. But more importantly, after the Truck Series race, later in the week, Friesen was involved in a horrifying dirt modified crash up in Canada, in Quebec, I believe. I forget the name of the track. I don't know if you guys have seen the clip or seen the crash. It was it's one of the worst crashes I've ever seen. He went airborne.
He went airborne. He did some flips. The metal flew off of it. Something ruptured, caught fire, and then another car hit him once he was back on the ground.
Yeah, just brutal stuff. Reports at the track at the time were that he was helped from the car, was alert, and then they transported him to a local hospital where he was diagnosed. I don't have it in front of me. I should have written it down. It was I believe a pelvic fracture and then some, in addition to a leg fracture. Very serious injuries. He's been in stable condition. Today he was transported to New York, somewhere in New York, to a hospital in New York for multiple surgeries, according to the latest updates from his wife, Jessica, who we've seen race in the Truck Series as well in the past. So I think all of us here at the show want to extend our thoughts, our prayers to Stuart Friesen and his family and his race team, because it could be a long road to recovery. This could obviously impact his playoff opportunity this year. A playoff start in a month. I mean, these sound like very serious injuries. Could be very difficult to get back to race this year. We just hope he's able to make a full recovery.
Yeah, that's the least important thing. There's a lot more important things that are in racing right now.
Yeah. I mean, he's alive, and that's, to me, I mean, it sucks about the racing side and whatever happens there. It's not, right to speculate. It's just more, he's got a wife, kid, like life to live. He's 42. He is not, he has plenty of time left on this earth. And I'm happy that he's still here. Cause there was a while where till we got the right updates, like we didn't know. And, and that's
42. This is the kind of thing that at that age, man, that can really change your life in many ways.
Yeah,
So I hope
scary crash. So yeah, we're all wishing him the best. I know the chat, obviously, I see everyone sending their same well wishes, thoughts, prayers to Stuart Friesen. Hopefully he's able to make a full recovery. But that's really it from the truck race. I mean, Lane Riggs, credit to Lane. He's been very good this year. Wins another race. I feel like he's the one guy who could maybe put it to Corey Heim come playoff time. Will be really interesting to watch. Jarrett, you want to throw up the points real quick? So these are the points currently.
Yes.
This is the cut line currently. Ty Majeski, the defending champion, trying to hold off his teammate, got a pretty big cushion. Now, yeah, it's unfair to speculate, I'm sure, but in the event that Stuart Friesen is not able to participate in the drivers' playoffs this year, that truck will still be in the owners' playoffs. But this is what the drivers' playoff would look like instead. Jake Garcia would be in. Ben Rhodes would now be the first driver out. So something to keep an eye on from a competitive standpoint over the next few weeks to see how the Stuart Friesen injury may or may not impact the cut line. Just wanted to show both of those to y'all so you get the proper perspective. But gentlemen, that was a lot. I knew we had a lot to talk about after Indy. But with that being said, it's time, I think, for our first super chat stage break.
Yep. I got you.
I'm going to do a few here. I might go a little longer than 3 minutes here just to knock some of these off the board. Irvin Alvarado, appreciate the 2 super chats off the bat here. I mentioned the comments in Jarrett's latest video, but I'll mention here in 27, NASCAR could do a Southwest swing schedule, have COTA, then use it a stage point to Mexico, then Texas, then Phoenix, then Vegas. That'd be a pretty interesting Southwestern swing. Like they said, it has a good ring to it. That would be pretty fun, pretty cool. The Mexico logistics were difficult this year, so anything to alleviate that would be welcomed. Then he says, or after Vegas, then Texas, then to ensure easy travel before Martinsville. Logistics is hard in terms of cost and movement through train. Yeah, of course, especially working through the border as we learned this year. Thank you for that super chat. And thank you, Bailey. Per Jamie Little, Tanner Gray is on baby watch and Tanner Gray is on standby for Tanner Gray. Did she say that on the broadcast? I missed that.
So yeah, she said that. Well,
it's hard to tell them apart.
It was funny during the so I sent you guys a picture of me holding my daughter. She's watching the truck race with me and she was into it because of like the bright red car and nice. Like we watched like 15 laps and then Fox did their like, we're gonna go to commercial again, and she started crying and I forgot who it was in the chat and went, Fox makes babies cry.
Damn,
and it's
I've never heard proud of yourself, Fox.
Never heard a truer statement than that.
Yeah. From the Sloth Nerd, thanks for the super chat. First time caller, long time listener. In honor of the MLB Speedway Classic, I must say this: the cheating Astros suck. Go Mariners.
Ooh.
Maybe you should go back to being just a listener. The Sloth Nerd. No,
oh snap!
That's fired.
No, appreciate the super chat though. And one of these days, eventually, one day, maybe the Mariners will win the division and go somewhere. Maybe. Lord Voldemort
says, ready to throw down here.
Hey, people keep doubting us and we just keep winning. Even with 20 guys on the injured list, you can't stop us. You can only hope to contain us.
Eric and the Astros is like me and the Vols.
Lord Voldemort says, Bowman wrecking Bubba Wallace twice is why I hate Bowman. Hashtag I stand with 2311.
Understand. Have a good day.
Then from I stand with 2311 says Sunday was a great day. We cried. Hashtag I stand with 2311. Then from Cookie Monster, who I saw didn't quite make the TV broadcast. Said,
they had Keith with the he had the presence of a block of cheese.
Me had a great time. Me honored to witness history. That was my Cookie Monster voice.
Technically, they just had Cookie Monster say drivers to your cars,
which is very old-fashioned. I kind of like that, actually. Yeah. Joe Gibbs, my good-for-nothing grandson, actually won finally. Damn, coach. Jeez. And then from, oh, God, not Herbert the Prevert.
I love that it's spelled wrong.
You have to do the voice.
Yeah, Chris.
Okay, Jared, there we go. Boo, KHNAB.
I stand with 2311. Now get Chris's fat booty right over here.
All right, we got a few more here.
Moving on.
Unsettling. Alex Luff says a top 20 for Catherine Legg. All I gotta say is my leg.
My leg.
Justin Drake, thanks for the 20. Says I'm not a Bubba fan. 2020 had a big impact on that, but I'm happy for him winning. How could anyone not be? He earned it. No NASCAR throwing out the rain shortened finish call. Yeah, I wondered about the rain call if there was any what's the nefarious intentions behind that, but it did obviously pour rain pretty quickly. Crimson Cream, thanks for the 2. Are the Cubs falling off? More baseball
Maybe.
talk, Jarrett.
Maybe.
He said maybe.
Baseball's cyclical.
It is. It's very you could have a great week and a bad week, feel on top of the world, and then feel like your team is trying.
They literally
kill
were
you.
the best record in the MLB and then decided to take a giant heaping crap for like the last week or 2.
Baseball is beautiful sometimes. Shorty PJM. Y'all knew this was coming. I began trembling at 17 to go, screeched my lungs out when he won, legit went limp, hugging my mom. This means a lot to me. All racers celebrating him, a colorful car, him and Bex, and I can't forget about him. And I can forget about him for 4 races. I'm just so happy, very happy to celebrate Bubba Wallace getting the win and locking into the playoffs. Napa Racing Fan says, thank you, NASCAR, for suspending the big bully. The white gloves don't lie. NWP and NASCAR stand up to bullying. Thank you for the super chat, Napa Racing Fan. I'm gonna do just a couple more here because I know we did get a lot and I don't want to keep all these for the very end. Andrew Winslow says Austin Hill is the lol cow. As punishment, he'll be forced to ask, what does Corey Taylor think for a whole week? You're a naughty boy, Austin. Thank you for the super chat, Andrew. BGWX Chasing. Fun fact, this was Noah Gregson's first race of the year without being involved in some sort of wreck, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that's a true fact, but it feels like a true fact, so we'll pretend it's a true fact. Napa Racing Fan says NASCAR to Austin Dillon at Richmond 2024. Never do anything like that again, but thanks for the promotional material for next year's race. Matt Kenseth still waiting on his Martinsville royalty checks, I'm just saying. We'll wrap up with these couple right here. Adam Davidson left a fun thumbs up animated GIF. Really appreciate the super chat, Adam. SW says 3 is the magic number for Bubba. He got the Cookie Monster charm and wins the crown jewel while avoiding the beer can that was thrown by a salty fan. Awesome weekend for Bubba Wallace.
And of course, he's the new Intimidator.
And I think we'll wrap up with this one. Hunter Nixon Fishing says, hot take, but if not for Dale Earnhardt and Kevin Harvick carrying Richard Childress for years, he would have been out of NASCAR many years ago.
Yeah, I'm kind of with him on that, and I think he truthfully was about to be done with it. He was done driving, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, we really do appreciate all the super chats. We have a lot more that we will get to at the end of the show. I want to give a quick shout out to Justin Drake, dropped a couple of huge super chats earlier. We will read those comments later on. It's always good to see you guys in the chat, bouncing ideas, joking back and forth. We will get to the rest of the super chats at the end of tonight's show, but we still have more to get to, folks, including a weather alert that just hit my phone. Did you guys get the same alert?
I'm getting it too.
Oh, yeah, I just got it too.
It's the lightning round here on the NASCAR Weekly Podcast. Jarrett, what do we got this week?
Well, of course, there's the NWP channel. Be sure to check it out at NWP Clips, or we re-upload all these. So if you miss it, there's more than one spot to catch it. Legacy and Rick Ware Racing will be in court tomorrow for a hearing on the restraining, not the retraining like it, but in there, the restraining order that Legacy wants on the Rick Ware Racing charters. So y'all got to escape NASCAR for a week. We'll get it next week. And then in a couple weeks, we do our annual iRace, the NWP 400, our 5th annual this year. Duels.
Dang, 5 years already. Wow.
Yeah. Duels are Tuesday, August the 12th, and the main event is Sunday, August 17th, which is the day after the Richmond race. Both are on IDK Players channel at 8 p.m. Eastern. And with that being said, I wanted to share really quick. We do have a few of the paint schemes start coming in. We'll share paint schemes each week with it. We got our McDonald's crew.
The snack wrap is back, baby.
I still haven't had the snack wraps since it's come back.
I've never had a snack wrap, if I'm being completely honest.
I hadn't either. Risk got me one. I mean, it's decent. You know, you get a little ranch on it, and it's pretty good.
What's actually in it? Is it like chicken?
I mean, the one she got me, it was chicken, lettuce, ranch, and a wrap. I mean, it's just simple.
From what I have seen, I think the breading they use is different than what they used back when it was last around, so it's not as crispy. It looks like as what it used to be.
I thought it was decent. It fit into my, like, I've been trying to eat better and it fit in my diet pretty well. I like to have one or two of them. It reminded me of the ones I used to have when I was in school in the lunch line.
Good looking schemes though.
Yeah, very good looking schemes. And we'll be sharing more of those. Hopefully drivers get more of those sent over. There's some pretty good ones on the way.
Post them on Twitter and tag us, and
Oh yeah. It'll be fun. One of the goals for the paint schemes this year is like everyone needs to have something like either a big logo on the hood or bright. You need to be noticeable. We want every scheme noticeable this year. Next gen cars.
If everyone's super, no one is super. A wise man once said that.
And that's why some of them will crash out. And then we'll notice them more.
I was gonna say you need one car to just be like jet black.
We do have a Dale Earnhardt 3 that has the day glow orange from the Noble race, and then we're planning on having an old school Dale Jr. Budweiser 8 car. So a big red.
Good.
I like. There's a lot of neon. And then of course next week will be on my channel, August 6th. That's guys. 2 days till August, but Wednesday night, August 6th, 8 p.m. Eastern time next week, be on mine. And very short one, very short system rolled through, but that is the lightning round.
Time, folks, for our first bout with the headlines. We've got a few stories this week that are worth mentioning, beginning with the silly season. Quick thoughts on this gentleman. Denny Hamlin has signed a multi-year extension that will keep him with Joe Gibbs Racing through at least 2027. He has indicated that this could be his final extension that he signs. He's also indicated otherwise, but he's keeping us guessing. He's pulling a little Aaron Rodgers on us late in his Cup Series career here, but he's 44 years old now, obviously the winningest driver this season. He's chasing 60 career victories. He's 2 away from tying Kevin Harvick's mark. He's 5 away from tying Kyle Busch's current mark. I know we talked about this last week, how far can Denny Hamlin go realistically in his career, but any thoughts on him signing an extension? Do you think this will be his final contract, Garrett?
It's funny because it kind of connects to the next thing that we have after our silly season schedule news. He said this week on Actions Detrimental, if he likes whatever the new format is whenever it comes in, and he says in his words, if it's legitimate enough, he's like, I'll stay longer and try for it. He says, but it just depends. He basically said, if we have what we have now, I'm going to retire. So I know there's like swaths of fans who hated the playoffs were like, keep it.
Yeah, wait, I like this Phoenix. Keep it at Phoenix even.
Yeah, keep it. Get rid of Denny. But I honestly do think he'll probably have at least one more year unless he just falls off a cliff. He's too competitive right now. Like, I get retire at the top of your game, but your game's getting better.
Yeah, that's how it feels based on what we've seen. Danny, any thoughts on Denny? Danny, what do you think of Denny sticking around?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's still at the top of his game. I'm a little surprised that he's kind of publicly saying he thinks it'll be his final extension because he might still be good by then, but at the same time, he's probably getting tired of all the headaches in NASCAR.
He does have a lot of other things pulling at his attention, so we'll see where he's at in a couple of years. But yeah, still at the top of his game, no doubt. News today, this was kind of big. Colleague Racing has parted ways with driver Josh Williams effective immediately. They say multiple drivers will be driving the number 11 Xfinity Series entry the rest of the season, beginning with Carson Hocevar is being reported. I saw he posted a photo just a little while ago of the 11 car. So I think it is Hocevar driving this weekend at Iowa, which is interesting because it might fuel some of those rumors recently of Spire and Colleague either merging.
Colleague right now.
There's a lot of things swirling right now, but
it feels like it's probably a combination of financial reasons and also performance reasons. I would assume that possibly Colleague was going to get better funding if they got some more, more higher up drivers to step in and finish off that season.
Yeah, I don't know how much of it's funding. I think a little bit could be funding, sure. Like more so maybe he's just not bringing in enough money for it to make sense for them to keep being mediocre. Because
Yeah,
I like Josh
Yeah.
Williams. I think he's a great dude.
it was a great story.
He was outperforming DGM racing equipment for a couple of years there. That's at least part of how he was considered for this opportunity. I think it's a combination of factors. We all agree Colleague the past couple of years on the Xfinity side has not been as good as they were previously. We all agree that, Allmendinger still brought him far in the playoffs last year, but outside of AJ at select tracks, they've not looked that great. Even Christian Eckes this year, I know he's a rookie, but how good he's been in trucks, we all expect him to be better this year in Xfinity, and he's 16th in points. Like, Colleague Racing right now is 16th, 17th, and 19th in points. That's not good at all. The problem for Josh Williams is he's the 19th place guy, and the two guys ahead of him are rookies.
And it's not just that they're rookies. Like,
Yeah.
they're leagues ahead of him right now. Like, so he has 376 total points.
Yeah.
Daniel Dye, if my math is correct, is 65 points. He is over a race full worth of points ahead, and Christian Eckes is ahead of him. And much respect to your co-host Brennan Poole.
He's ahead of Josh Williams as well.
He's by like 21 points.
And a fraction of the budget.
And here's one that's really kind of scary to think about too, is he's not even 40 points ahead of Eric Almirola in points, and he's run, I believe, 12 more races.
Shoot, if he doesn't catch himself, he might get passed up by William Sawalich before long. And we've documented how he's come around lately, but how awful this season has been for Sawalich.
Yeah, Sawalich would need like a 10th place finish and some stage points to be ahead of him this week after it's just
it sucks.
I wanted him to be good.
Exactly. I really wanted him to be good, and I thought he would be. I thought he'd at least run top 15 to top 10 every week, and he never did, even last year from the get-go. And I remember him talking a bit about, how he kind of had to relearn in some ways how to drive because he's been so used to racing conservatively, taking care of his precious equipment. And now all of a sudden he's in a car with the speed, with the performance. We like we said, probably not a top 5 car, but a top 10 to top 12 car. And I just think he had to relearn how to compete at the top level of NASCAR, and it just hasn't worked out. Maybe the crew chief wasn't right. Maybe the setups weren't right. Maybe the driver just wasn't quite right. I don't know what the reason was, but it's disappointing though that this partnership just never really worked.
Well, real quick too, kind of not pigeonholing, but like kind of spinning off of the Colleague talk. I saw a lot of the rumors and a lot of the speculation right now is Colleague could be a truck Ram team next year.
Yeah.
Which, if that's the case, I'm really interested. Like, would they stay in Xfinity and Cup as Chevy? Would they sell off the Xfinity program to Trackhouse like what's been rumored, or their Spire? I mean, there's
been rumors that Spire's getting involved, trying to buy up Xfinity assets to have a true truck to Cup pipeline. So we'll see.
You remember when we had a few of those meetups, like the Daytona one among others, and Colleague 2020, 2021, like we were like, man, this team's legit. Like they can take it to that next level, and they made a lot of wrong moves, driver wise, sponsor wise. Remember, I think they had Landon Castle with like the crypto scam sponsorship.
Yeah, you wonder behind.
They paid I know they paid him in like cryptocurrencies, and then they paid
that was a mistake.
The team, I think that the team like had problems getting the money from them, and then they like go after different drivers here and there, and it just AJ Allmendinger has been like the one bright spot for them. And the last couple weeks, Ty Dillon.
Did Landon Castle ever drive again after that, or was that kind of the end?
I don't think so.
I don't know if he's driven anything recently. I'm not sure. Chat could maybe let us know. Danny in the chat just said Landon hasn't found a ride since, so maybe that answers our question. You wonder if how many of those deals played a role, if their expanded Cup Series focus perhaps took something away from their Xfinity deal. You just don't know. I mean, obviously, when they had Chastain in those cars, they could contend for wins. When they had Allmendinger in those cars, they could contend for wins. Maybe it's simply a driver issue.
Like there's a few years ago, you were like, man, Colleague is a series team. No wonder they're looking at a Cup Series team, and hey, they're starting to do decent in both, and now they're not good neither.
Yeah, unfortunately. Kind of hope the Truck Series rumors are true, because that'd be pretty fun to see them take over that series maybe with the new OEM. Other news, though, schedule news, a lot of schedule news recently. Mexico City, we found out today, according to Jordan Bianchi of The Athletic, will not be on the 2026 schedule. Chicagoland Speedway is expected to fill that spot. A few reports have suggested that they're eyeing a July 3rd, 4th, 5th weekend date for Chicagoland. So it would essentially take over Mexico's spot on the schedule, but Chicago Street Race's actual weekend. So, Jarrett, I'll let you have the floor on this one. Chicagoland, this is the closest we've been to it being back. It's being reported now by The Athletic. Chicagoland is coming back. What do you think?
I'm happy. I'm very happy. I remember I said, like, if there's 1 week, like one date, I don't want it on 4th of July weekend just in case. But at least from what I've heard too, is like the Xfinity race would probably be run like in early afternoon, maybe even noon local time, because the 4th of July night is in America, especially on year 250 of America, is
True.
just it's a ratings pit to die in. So it's not the end of the world. I mean, again, it's Chicagoland's back, so I'd be very happy with that. I think that as long as they don't repave it, sounds like they're going to put about $4 million into the track. And so what I could say a few things that I know on that side of it that I think are okay to put out there. I know Reddit had some stuff. It got taken down off of Reddit at one point. I know Twitter put it, but they tested the scoring pylon and it works. I believe it was on All-Star Race weekend they did that. I mean, it flew under the radar, but it was like people posted it and it just sort of flew under the radar. And honestly, the condition of the track is no different really than what Nashville Super Speedway was. It's been mostly taken care of by a very ragtag group of people. And ISC, they have people that go different tracks and help. So for instance, this weekend at Iowa Speedway, there is actually Chicagoland employees that are there. And so they can actually reallocate people to help out with the track at certain points, things like that. It's going to need some upgrades. I know they've already upgraded a few things around the track, especially with like amenities, suites, AC units, stuff like that. The infield definitely needs some. Grandstands need a little cleaning up too, just because like underneath with plants growing and stuff. But I mean, honestly, we saw what they could do with North Wilkesboro, and I have no doubt that they'll be ready 4th of July weekend. I would like if, the truck race, because it sounds like all 3 series would be there. The truck race, I'm assuming will be at night like it always has been. Xfinity during the day just because of the 4th of July itself. I would love if the Cup race could be a Sunday night race because it is hot as a motherfucker. And that track, man, dude, I'm melted. I'm melted.
It's very exposed out there. It is the sun is beaming down on Chicagoland. Yeah.
But I'll take it, whatever. Like I want to have as many people there and party as possible. Just people need to show up.
That's the big thing, because I worry this could be. It's good to know that they're planning to put some money behind it to really get it. I mean, that some of that maybe is just the minimum to get it up to Cup Series standard for today, for tomorrow, for next year. But it feels still like this track may not be long for the schedule, in the sense that as soon as they strike a new deal with Mexico City or a new deal with Chicago, because we know they're still in talks with both of those cities, both of those tracks, both those organizations, it feels like Chicagoland is still going to be that first track that gets cut, unfortunately.
There is one wrinkle to the ISC thing with that, though.
Sure. What is that?
The contract for 2 races a year at Kansas Speedway is up after next year. And
God, they sacrifice at Kansas. I know the attendance hasn't been great for both races, but
the fall race has been better. It's just the spring race.
I could deal with Kansas just being a fall exclusive.
Yeah.
I just, it feels like NASCAR is doing what they can to try and get more dates as one date so they can go to different places. Because
that's fine with me. I'd be okay with the one Kansas, one Chicagoland, and a problem is that you can do Chicagoland, and if they do bring back the street race, which maybe it's 50-50, maybe it's even like 30-70 that they do, but they're clearly going to try. It sounds like they're going to keep that dialogue going. Does it go anywhere of substance? Maybe not, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think if it's 1 or 2 years at Chicagoland, maybe more, the next gen car is going to put on a great show, especially if it's not been repaved. I think
Please don't.
Xfinity will put on a great show, and something needs to cover that July 4th weekend. Is it perfect? No, but I don't think there's a perfect track out there besides Road America, frankly, that makes sense on 4th of July weekend. So I hope it's a huge success. I think it'll be a lot of fun to watch on TV or in the grandstand. So I hope it works out.
Just people got to show up.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was, I remember being on the show in 2018 and 19. As much fun as I had with those races, and as great as the moments were, I remember saying both times, like, they need to have people show up. The track needs upgrades, or it's not going to be on the schedule. And look what happened once COVID hit.
Iowa Speedway obviously is hosting this weekend's race. Reportedly, they're already sending out renewal letters for next season. Did they have a date attached that either of y'all saw?
No.
Okay, but it sounds like they're leaning towards Iowa returning. It is a NASCAR-owned track. We know their relationship with IndyCar has become rocky, but I think NASCAR is going to try and keep the Cup Series there.
So I wonder with that, Hy-Vee is really what powered the IndyCar weekend.
Yeah.
And they're sponsoring the Xfinity race.
Oh, are they?
Corn is sponsoring this year.
What is? Oh, sorry. Cut out for a second.
Corn.
Okay.
Corn, baby. So I'm wondering, like, does Hy-Vee try and take that step with NASCAR? Because I think the IndyCar weekend, I think they said they sold a total for both races of like 6,000 tickets.
Yeah, they put
and NASCAR was sold out months in advance.
They I don't know how, like, they put no effort into promoting this year's IndyCar Iowa race, but even with how little promotion there was, I don't know how they sold so few tickets. It's like they actively didn't want people to come, which I know has fueled speculation that there was I don't know.
They did have top tier music acts the last few years.
Yeah, no, I know, but still.
Like, this is one of your few oval races a year for IndyCar. You've got to do better with that.
Yeah. No, I'm shocked that the IndyCar Iowa deal crashed as quickly as it seems to have crashed. But hopefully NASCAR sticks around, because last year I recall being an okay race, nothing amazing, but the crowd, the atmosphere was electric. So hopefully that energy is back this weekend. What do we have next? More headlines. This comes from once again from The Athletic. Jeff Gluck, Jordan Bianchi on the teardown this week dove into the playoff committee that was formed early this year to discuss possible changes to the Cup Series playoff format. Gluck outed himself. He is a member of the playoff committee, he says, which was quite interesting. Says they've met a couple times this year. They've had some emails, some surveys go back and forth. But his perspective is that he's leaning towards there not being any format changes next season. He suggested that NBC has a really loud voice, and they obviously signed this new multi-billion-dollar deal with the expectation that there would be some form of playoff format. So he says that a few months ago, he would have said there was a 90% chance of the format changing. Now he feels it's down to 20% chance. We'll get into a few other things here. Denny Hamlin on his podcast, Actions Detrimental. A lot of podcasts out there. It's a good time to be a NASCAR fan. Plenty of content to feast on.
We should start a podcast. You guys want to start a podcast?
Maybe we should. Can we add
that?
Another podcast to the mix? But Hamlin is also on the playoff committee, and he pushed back a little against some of Gluck's claims that NBC is such a loud voice. He kind of felt maybe the opposite a little bit. They did both agree that things have moved slowly, and with the schedule expected to be released soon, that time may be running out for any meaningful changes to be added to next year's format, but there's still a chance. There's still certainly a chance. And the more recent quote, I don't have the exact quote, or I do actually have a quote.
Yeah, I put it down there.
Yeah, thanks for Jared updating the itinerary like the brilliant man that he is. Adam Stern of Sports Business Journal, in the wake of all of this coming out, got a quote from one of the NBC Sports vice presidents, Jeff Benke, who said, quote, "We'll let NASCAR sort out their vision for the playoffs, and we will produce those playoff races to the best of our ability." That seemed to suggest NBC's trying to take their hands off and say, I mean, yeah, we'd like a playoff format. He does use the word playoffs, but we're not really going to dictate what the format looks like. Maybe he's just saying that to the media. Behind closed doors could be very different. But now we're getting conflicting reports. Jarrett, do you think the format will change next year?
No. We had this conversation about the schedule last week. And don't get me wrong, I know I'm a big guy to stump for 36 races. I know as soon as I bring that up, I'm gonna have like 10 comments being like, this is wrong. And I get that, but I think we all pretty much knew like whatever they do was going to fit some form of a playoff. But the way I took those comments was, he said, we'll let NASCAR sort out their vision and we'll produce those playoff races to the best of our ability. He didn't say anything about championship races. He didn't say anything about races or anything that they want. He said playoffs. So I'm assuming it's going to be some kind of format like that, whether it's, again, the same one they do next year and then 27 be the goalpost for it. I would venture to say, to me, that says like, we want playoffs. We just don't care how they are. Whereas the way that Gluck has put it, that NASCAR said, is that NASCAR has to talk through it and vet with them. Denny doesn't think that they really want that much of a voice, which NBC is kind of backed up in what they said, while also pretty much asserting like we're having playoffs. It's what we signed up for through 2031 at least, which again, we pretty much kind of all knew heading into this. It's just frustrating that they only had 2 meetings. And I get it, because I know none of us 3 are like ultimate insiders of the sport, but I think we all know like there's not many events that all the media, all the industry, everyone shows up to. And it's like Daytona, Coke 600, maybe the Brickyard, maybe Southern 500, maybe Daytona in the summer and the finale. But to me, this is 1A and 1B with the car of priority. Like whether we do a playoff, a chase, a 36 race, or we do Mario Kart points, whatever it is, like the way you crown your champion, that is just as important as the racing itself for optics. And the only thing that it seems like the NASCAR side is that everyone's agreed they want to get rid of a 1 race finale, and nothing else has really been accomplished to this point.
Yeah. So my takeaway is that, yeah, it's a little disappointing they've only had 2 meetings, but in my opinion, 2 meetings is enough. Because according to Gluck, this committee isn't there to create the new playoff format. NASCAR is ultimately going to create the new playoff format. They just wanted to, round up different voices, different generations, different parts of the industry to get their perspectives. And then they are going to take all that perspective and presumably craft what they deem to be the perfect long-term simplified format. That was another emphasis, is they want the next format to be a little simpler. So, everyone, it's not like you said, everyone seems to agree 1 race, winner take all championship, not great for legitimacy. All right, boom, get Ben Kennedy and whoever else, Jim France, if he's involved, Steve Fountain, I don't know who they are, John Probst, Elton Sawyer, get all your best and brightest minds. And with that point right there, they should be able to craft something, bring it to NBC. Hey, do you approve this? If they say no, okay, you have to go back to the drawing board, but they seem to be open to any and all playoff formats, at least according to that last statement. So it should be a priority. It feels like they've had enough discussion. Now it's time for NASCAR to put their big boy pants on and just make the call. Is this really the first you've ever thought of it? Like, I'm sure you've mulled over different formats in the back of your mind for a long, long time. Go execute a format, bring it to your partners, get their stamp of approval. Bada bing, bada boom. It should take a week. It should take a week at this point, based on everything I've heard.
I kind of want to push back on that, just because like the one thing that I like that they've all said, whichever way they go, is that they want it to be a substantial change, no changes long-term. And I think that should take more than 2 meetings in a week. The first meeting basically was like, from what Gluck said, the meeting at Daytona was, what's the point of us having a meeting right now? Like, should we even have a meeting?
That's okay. That first meeting was probably a waste then. Okay, they should probably have another meeting then.
So the second one there is basically like, okay, what stuff do we like and not like? And we basically like everything that people have put out there is on the table right now. To me, it's like, I want them to overanalyze the living hell out of this. I want them to run it through,
weren't they going to use AI simulations?
Yeah. And I think people overblew that, because it's like, it's a freaking computer simulation is basically an AI. Like, we just overuse AI is the word.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to do computer simulations and they're going to do all this other things. Like, I want them, if they're going to make a big change, to make that big change and not have to change it. And for people like me and like, Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Chase Elliott, who this week were all very vocal about what they wanted. Like, I want them to at least be like, all right, that's good enough. We can compromise here. And I don't feel like they've really accomplished that from what any of the people involved have said.
I mean, I just think any format they create now, any edits they make will be met with almost 50-50 approval and disapproval. And that's even if they make no change, I would say. So they kind of, sure, I'm with you. They should have had more meetings, but they could have, assuming they had 2 90-minute meetings, that's enough time, in my opinion, to gather the info, survey the landscape, and then behind closed doors, come up with a potential solution. I think you've had the time to do it. It sounds like they haven't prioritized it, and that's frustrating.
I think at this point, there's probably 3 options you have to not split the fan base more. Because that's every time they make major changes, we split the fan base. We just keep splitting it into smaller and smaller pieces, and we're not going to get that toothpaste back in the tube. So to me, it's this
metaphor.
Like, it's like a Hydra, basically. You cut off a head and 2 more form in its place, going different direction. Exactly. And so, my idea is this: you either keep it the same, and you have the people that are happy. Most people are unhappy, but they just deal with it and watch. You go to a 10-race chase with like some variations of what you have now, or you do a full season format. You don't we don't need to muddy it up more. They basically said one of the goals is if you can't explain the championship format concisely and well in a elevator ride from the bottom floor of your hotel to the 3rd floor, that because did you all see Ash Vandelay? She did a great video explaining IndyCar, Formula One, and NASCAR's playoff formats.
Oh, I'm sure that was fun.
She was doing it on a time crunch. And I think it was like Formula One took 12 seconds. I think IndyCar took 13, and NASCAR took 1:20 something. And it's like, we don't need to muddy it up. We don't need to have like X, Y, and Z extra things. It's like, if we're going to make a change, let's just make some simple change that you can explain in even 30 seconds. Like, fine, if we're going to do that. And I'm fine if it takes an extra year if they make the change, as disappointing as it is that they won't do something for next year.
Yeah, I'm all for don't make a small change just for the next year. No, I don't do that. That's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've had the time. They could have committed to something bigger and better. Sounds like they're likely not going to. Danny, do you think that do you feel any confidence that there will be dramatic playoff format changes next year?
Nah, no confidence really. Would like to, but it's one of the things I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. I'll say one last thing too, that not even to push a format or like talk about that. This is probably the most pushback that I've seen the industry, drivers, media, fans, everyone alike as a collective have and be acknowledged to have in years by NASCAR. Like, for NASCAR to acknowledge it and for there to be the real discourse of it. And it's the most people I've seen talk about a full season from the industry, from Dale Jr. to Chase Elliott to Mark Martin to, I mean, even like, I haven't even seen like Toby Christie coming out now and like putting stuff out there, like people that I've never seen really put opinions on this or talk about a chase for a lot of people or talk about what they would want as alternate playoffs or the same thing. Like, I'm glad that there's at least the discourse happening now.
Yeah, I think NASCAR does deserve credit for welcoming all these different voices into a room. The fact that they invited Mark Martin into the playoff committee, knowing full well what his opinion was likely going to be. I mean, that is a good thing. I just wish those meetings have been more productive than they sound like they've been. We'll move on from that, though, for the time being. I'm sure we'll circle back, not to use meeting lingo, but I'm sure we'll circle back to that discussion in a future episode. New video game coming out October 14th. NASCAR 25 has a Xbox and PlayStation release date. No PC release date yet, which I am very bummed about. Today, there's been a lot of chatter about the soundtrack. I saw Dale Jr. tweeting that Breaking Benjamin, will be in the game. They, of course, were the title track for NASCAR 07 with Diary of Jane. That was a formative moment in my young life, in both my video game fandom and my rock metal music fandom. So cool to see that they will be involved, that they even reached out about being involved in the NASCAR 25 soundtrack. Yeah. So Jared, I know you've been more on top of this than at least I have. Danny, I'm sure I'll let you weigh in as well. But Jared, I mean, your reaction to what you've seen so far from the new console game.
Okay. I'm going to acknowledge the big elephant in the room, because I know Danny has brought up this point when we talk about this. Eric, I know you have, and I know the chat is. I know that their game plan is to show gameplay like in the next 3 or 4 weeks towards Daytona or end of the month or whatever.
Mm.
I get people getting upset with fans saying this over and over again. And I'm seeing already people that are commentators pushing back and being like, why are they complaining? iRate's into like, okay, I'm gonna straight up say it. If people don't understand the PTSD that NASCAR fans have from the last 20 years of games and especially 21 Ignition, you're literally doing the ostrich head in the sand at this point, and you're just actively ignoring it. NASCAR themselves is acknowledging it, right? iRacing is like,
if you're not somewhat concerned for quality, you've got a problem.
Yeah, and I don't blame people at this point, right? So I want to say that right off the top because you can't be ignored at this point. And I know the people from iRacing probably don't like me and others keep harping on this, but until we see gameplay, I have no lasting opinion on the game itself. The stuff they showed, the screenshots, the HUD looks nice and the game looks good. Like it looks graphically good.
But that is the game paused where you can't see what's actually happening in it.
Yes. And that's
I'll be honest. Oh, sorry, Danny, go ahead.
All I was gonna say is even in the lightest little bit we've seen, that little trailer where it said what date it's going to be coming out. People point out you saw William Byron going around Bristol, and it looked like it was lacking. They used.
That was what I was going to say.
Horrible way to go about it.
I don't know whose idea it was to greenlight that.
It was like maybe 20 frames per second. It was not good.
Like thousands, if not millions of people are anticipating this release date. We got to make this a big deal, put our best foot forward. And they show that uninspired little clip. I mean, people can say we're overreacting to it. And I saw Real Radman's video. We don't expect the game to run at 5 FPS. Nobody does that. Nobody thinks that. But that's their best foot forward at this point they can show us is a little concerning. I think that's fair.
And everyone that we're seeing is getting to play it, mainly a lot of teams and drivers and stuff. Are they playing it on special developmental kind of PlayStations, or are we seeing them playing on the actual PlayStations and Xboxes? Like, what are we seeing? Because it's one thing for it to work perfectly on your testing device. It's another thing for it to go to everyone else's devices and realize there's bugs that you didn't see coming. Yeah. So I think that was the biggest problem with Ignition. It was doing what they needed it to in test devices, but then when it went to actual devices, huge difference.
Yeah. So I'll let you get back to your point, Jared. But all that is to say is some healthy skepticism is fair, I think.
Yes.
But I think we're all generally believe this game will probably be pretty good, but we don't know. We don't frankly know. So sorry, go ahead.
With that being said, like I will say I'm still optimistic just because like let's face it, iRacing has made themselves the gold standard of like easy to access sim racing. And I think that they can emulate that. They have the assets that they use in a game. So I'm optimistic, right? But the thing is that I've talked to some people from iRacing and I've said, I am not going to go out to my audience because I feel that we should have that mutual respect back and forth. I'm not going to go and say you should go buy a game until A, y'all have seen the gameplay, and 2, I've been able to see it and or play it at some point and actually judge for myself. Because I remember that Daytona race where there were people who would just show up, do a lap or two at Daytona for Ignition and be like, looks good to me. And then I remember also our buddy John getting a whole lot of crap thrown his way because while he was there, and I give our buddy Rusty Walrus a ton of credit, he let John play it, and John basically went and he said, hey, I'm going to just go and try and find ways to break the game to see if I can help you guys with it, because that's what you should do. And John did. Like literally he crashed somebody and they just stayed at the bottom of the racetrack. Remember, the race in Daytona, it's not like the race in Martinsville and they hit the pit wall and there was just a big clump of cars every time you went by, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to see that, and I get that it's probably a marketing decision because we're all chomping at the bit at it, and as soon as the word gameplay is in any of our videos or anything that they put out, it's going to take off like a rocket. So I get why they're doing it, but it's like I'm kind of with y'all in the audience and both of you guys up here. I want to see it before I'm going to pay for that game $60, $70, whatever it might be.
And the unfortunate thing that I'm disappointed with is that there is no PC release date yet.
Yes.
Because I don't have a PS5 or an Xbox Series 69, whatever they're called. So until a PC version comes out, I'm probably not playing it, period. Because I mean, maybe I'll finally fold and get a PS5, but I haven't done it yet.
I've got a PS5. I bought it because I wanted last year's college football game. I got this year's college football game. And next year I'm gonna want GTA 6, and it's only gonna come there before it comes to PC. So
I just don't play video games that much anymore. Not to get off topic.
I'm very limited on what games I will buy now.
All my games growing up, all my favorite games were all PlayStation exclusives. Uncharted, Ratchet and Clank, Sly Cooper, Last of Us. Like those are my games growing up. And like, I don't know, all those franchises, I guess Last of Us is still going. Ratchet and Clank's still going.
Well, no, Last of Us actually canceled their third game because how bad the last one was taken.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Come on, Neil. But they'll remaster it for a fourth time.
Yeah, totally aren't doing it for the cash cow side.
Infamous. I need another Infamous game.
But that's
for me. The best gaming company was the ones who made the Walking Dead game. Even though they got shut down, they literally still finished the game. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like, so for me, like, I'm gonna be honest, since there's not been a NASCAR game in the last 5, well, no, that last Walking Dead game I think came out before COVID.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I hear they might make another one. Like that's about that one, and then maybe the new Jurassic World Park Builder one, just because I like making my own little environment and Site B thing. Like that's about the only games that I play outside of NASCAR. Like I am, if this game is good enough, if I think that it'll be good enough, like I am planning on buying a PS5 for it because I'm also want to play that new Jurassic World game. But it's like, I'm with you, Danny. I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on games anymore. Quite frankly, I just don't have the time or the willpower to play a million freaking games all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm selective now, and I'm only going to probably get more selective over time. So it's like I would not want to steer, hundreds, possibly thousands of people if I'm not sure about it yet.
Yeah. Game releases October 14th. We'll get gameplay and additional content, I'm sure, ahead of time.
I think there might be a dev diary this week.
Buy at your own discretions.
Guys, it's time to have some fun.
I like fun.
Who doesn't love a little fun?
We're having fun.
Prediction segment is up next. Gosh, we're running late tonight, folks. Let's see what we got
I feel a little tired already.
I know. So every week every host makes 2 NASCAR racing or show related predictions. We keep track every week, hold ourselves accountable, and we always try to keep our predictions concise. So last week, who do we got up first? How did we do? Danny 0 for 2 said AEW's MJF will show up at a NASCAR TNT race.
He was too busy being in Happy Gilmore too.
Fair enough. And then said Ty Dillon would win the in-season challenge. That was a good shot. Didn't quite land. Who's next, Jarrett? Oh, my goodness. Said Bubba Wallace would make the playoffs. Well played. TNT will go to commercial playing an Ozzy song. Fitting. I didn't catch that, but I trust that it was there.
In the pre-race, they played, I think, Mom, I'm Coming Home.
Oh, the pre-race. Brickyard 400 will score less than 2.5 million viewers. You got that by a fraction. And NASCAR 25 would release in September, a couple weeks ahead
why did you pick that day?
I just thought it'd be fun to have NASCAR 25 on 9/25/25. Nothing else but that. I was just
brilliant.
For every layup, I have to have a full court shot too.
There you
Fair
go.
enough. I'm scared to look at mine. Hey, whoa, 1 for 1. Corey Heim will lead 1,000 laps or more in trucks. I made that prediction like 8 races ago, so I feel pretty good that it did, in fact, come to fruition. But all right, let's see our overall scores. Jarrett's still leading the way. He is 36% correct this year. Danny at 32. I'm at 29.5. All time, going back to last year, Jarrett's batting 400. Goodness gracious. Danny's at 31% correct. I'm at also almost a 31% rounding error, let's just say. All right. What order we go in? Do I go first?
I think I go first because we do it in the order of.
Oh,
how it
okay.
goes. I
Okay.
think
Jared goes
we
first.
didn't
What's
change
your
it.
first prediction?
Oh boy. I got like 4 options I'm looking at here. And
Overachiever.
I'm wondering. I'm going to say this. There's going to be 3 separate drivers to win stage 1, 2 in the race. So there'll be a driver that wins stage 1, a different driver wins stage 2, and a different driver wins the race itself for Iowa.
Okay.
Cup that is.
Sure. Danny, what's your first prediction?
Austin Hill will make it to the Xfinity Championship 4 despite having no
Ooh.
playoff points.
I like that one. That's one I can really watch for. I like that. My first prediction, I'll stick with the Xfinity series as well. I don't think anyone's made this prediction. I don't think I've made this prediction, but maybe I have. Jarrett will check the notebook after with the show. Connor Zilic will win the regular season title.
No one's made that one.
Oh.
I'll go another. This is out of character for me. I'm going short term for both of mine. The winner of the Cup race will not lead the most laps.
Okay. All right.
I think it'll be a very competitive race up front.
Because last year the winner did lead the most laps. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My second prediction: the Atlanta Braves will win the game at Bristol this weekend.
Okay. All right.
I like it. I
They're
should have made one about that.
They have a worse record than the Reds, but admittedly, Tennessee is more or less Braves country.
Did they ever do an update on if the Smokies are playing or no?
No, my dad actually does stuff for the Smokies, medical stuff. They've just built a new stadium. They're just keeping the Smokies there.
Okay.
My final prediction, I don't know if y'all saw last night, but Shane Van Gisbergen is unstoppable. He won a Legends car race, summer shootout, Charlotte Motor Speedway. My prediction is that he will score a top 10 at a non-drafting oval before the Cup season is over.
I think I made that one.
Did you?
The non-super speedway oval top 10.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, buddy.
What the fuck? Okay.
I can double check if you want me to be 100%
it's okay.
sure.
I felt really good about that one. Did you
I want to
make
be
that
sure.
Okay.
It was just I said SVG will get a non-super speedway top 10 finish in 2025.
Oh my God. Okay.
Sorry, buddy.
That's all right. You know what? I'll just change it and say he'll get a top 10 on a super speedway this year.
I like that. Yeah,
Okay.
why not? Why not, man?
Either Daytona or Talladega.
have
He
two
will
more
score
options.
top 10. Yep.
All right. That's cool.
All right.
Oh, we still having fun. We're still having fun, right?
So much fun. It's time for Jarrett to make us look like idiots. It's time for Random Driver of the Week.
Remind me of iCarly there, man. Random dancing.
Thank you. I try. Danny and I have to hide the chat for the next few minutes.
Yep.
Jarrett's going to give us a couple dozen clues. We will try to guess the random NASCAR driver he's got.
I feel like he's gonna. I have a feeling he's gonna stump us. I feel like this is a hard one.
Well, we'll see. Right now, Danny leads Eric 26-25. Close battle as always. And then, of course, I'm tied with the guests who are seldom in the competition as much as the rest of us at 6. It's been a back and forth. The last 5 weeks, Danny last week got Steve Grissom. Week before, Eric got Junior Johnson. Then Danny got Dario Franchitti from literally outside of the country. Eric had Jeff Gordon. And then, of course, he got his nickname that day. Danny Ballbuster got Bobby Dale Earnhardt right out from under Michael Roots. So
Danny gets the kind of sleeper picks. I get the obvious ones. Jeff Gordon, Junior Johnson. If it's a Hall of Famer, I'm your guy.
Well, I mean, I got the list on the bottom. I can see.
Well, we'll check later.
Let's see.
We'll tally that up later.
You got Mike Stefanik.
Oh, I did. Well, isn't he? Did he make the Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
he did.
You got David Reagan.
Oh yeah, he's not a Hall of Famer.
You got Jimmy Means.
Oh, I pulled that one out of my ass.
Kenny Irwin.
Okay, all right.
You got a couple. Give yourself some credit.
Good.
You guys are very
even.
Very even so far.
My first guess is Richard Petty.
Is that a
no?
That's a guess.
No.
Guess?
Start giving us clues. Give us clues.
All right. This random driver hailed from Pamplico, South Carolina.
Whoa, cool town name.
Pamplico?
Yep, Pamplico. At least that's one of the hometowns I saw this random driver given.
Pamplico.
This random driver did pass away from Parkinson's. So no longer with us, living to be 78 years old.
That's an older driver. Okay.
Damn, that was quick.
The chat already got it.
Well, some are saying it's a wrong Carolina, so might be North.
Okay,
Carolinas.
Okay.
In 2006, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Kevin Harvick actually donated, quote, a substantial amount of funds to this random driver's family.
Okay.
So that could mean maybe he was already passed too.
Yeah.
And in 2008, this random driver's family received a donation of $100,000 from Kyle Busch.
So this somebody meant a lot to people.
None of us have tweeted about this random driver.
All right, Danny, this one's all you.
This random driver made one cup start, finishing 31st and last at Martinsville Speedway.
31 cars in the field? Interesting.
Oh, but that was his only cup start.
Yes.
This makes it more interesting that this many top drivers respected him, but he wasn't really a cup driver.
This random driver, to my knowledge, is not currently in the NASCAR Hall of Fame either.
But they should be? Is that where you're going with that?
Question mark?
We'll see. We got some more clues.
Okay, all right, okay.
We got 20 clues. We're only 8 in.
Oh.
This random driver retired in 1984 due to a head injury.
It's an 84.
84.
That feels like a really big hint.
And is a Vietnam Air Force veteran.
That's awesome.
Ooh.
Doesn't help me out, hello.
Not many numbers. You don't have to write them all down.
Oh, cool.
The random driver ran these numbers in NASCAR: 02, 00, and 10.
Oh my gosh.
And ran Chevys and Oldsmobiles.
Chevys and Oldsmobiles.
This random driver currently is 14th all time on the Xfinity wins list.
Okay.
So they got a good amount of wins.
This random driver won 22 of 92 Xfinity Series starts with a percentage of about 24% winning percentage.
Wow.
Has the chat gotten it yet?
They got it on like the first one.
What the heck? Okay.
I
Good
know,
job, chat. Well
damn
done.
good.
Very impressed.
This random driver scored top 10s in all but 13 of his 92 Xfinity Series starts.
Wow. Okay. So this is an early Xfinity Series.
Lifer.
This random driver is a 2-time Xfinity Series champion.
Have we done Sam Ard?
Is that your guess?
Sure. Oh, what the?
I should have said it. It was in the back of my mind because I started thinking, how did Jarrett know about what I told him earlier?
I was about to say, because the next
I was
clue
literally going to say it.
This random driver was the first driver to win 4 straight Xfinity Series races.
I should have just said it because I had a feeling you were going to say it. I wanted to wait till you said it, and I should have just said it.
So I'll give you the other 3 clues that I had. Was not on the 50 greatest drivers list, but on the 75 greatest drivers list. And here is his 3 full-time Xfinity Series seasons points finishes: second, first.
Dang it! I should have just said it when it was in the back of my mind. Like what?
I was
literally thinking, like, how did Jarrett know that? Now that I think about it,
when you just said like, oh, early Xfinity Series champion, I'm like, okay, well that makes me think Sam Ard. Like
I'm not gonna lie. Earlier in the episode, when Danny was bringing that up and we were talking about that, I was thinking in the back of my mind, like, oh no, not this week, no. I was like, this is gonna be the worst segment. So, Sam Ard is the correct guess.
If you had said that very early, then yes, I would have instantly gotten it.
No, that's the thing. I changed the damn order because
you had it early.
Yeah, I had it earlier. And
Oh
I'm like,
my
nope,
gosh.
change it.
Oh my gosh.
That was supposed to be like around the halfway point, and I'm like, we're putting that at the bottom now.
I should have just come out and said it, but I was like, I want to hear Jarrett say it.
So Eric and Danny are now tied at 26. The endless fight.
I should have been up 27-25.
2-point swing right there.
Hey, we've learned 2 lessons in Random Driver of the Week for success. One is you can't hesitate, and the other one is you can't speak aloud. Both of you have taught those lessons now.
Yes.
So Michael, there's your revenge.
Someone needs to like tag Michael and be like, "Hey, it happened."
And if you clip it to show Michael, make sure you also go back and include the part where I was talking about the 4 wins in a row.
And literally do like a 1 hour later.
Well, that was fun. I had fun. I hope you had fun. Did Christopher Bell have fun?
I don't know. Christopher, are you having fun?
This is fun. We're having fun.
Christopher had fun.
Let's see if he has fun at Iowa this weekend. Let's talk Cup Xfinity doubleheader. Cup is a new tire compound for this weekend. Oh, off the top of my head, I think it was Kyle Busch, Austin Cindric, and Briscoe who did the tire test.
I think it was.
The 66 Garage 66 entry is sponsored by King of the Hill. Pretty crazy. Oh, you got it. Oh,
I got both of them. I didn't realize there was an Xfinity one.
Oh, what the heck? I didn't know. I haven't seen the Xfinity one. Oh, it's just pretty much the same thing. Cool.
Yeah.
Very
So,
cool.
did you see it? So around the fuel, I don't have it zoomed in, but it has the propane thing around the fuel.
Yeah, I did see that detail. That's very fun. I appreciate that. That's cool.
I do kind of wish that these cool sponsors could get on a faster car.
Yeah.
But
balling on a budget. Well, we mentioned this earlier, but the Xfinity Series race is the Hy-V Perks 250. Sorry, Hy-V Perks 250. It is a 250 lap race Saturday. 60, 130 laps are the stage breakdown. Starts at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time on the CW MRN. Weather looks good, mid 70s, low chance of rain. Sam Mayer is the defending winner of this race. He's looking for his first win of the season still. Could be a big week for him. The Cup race on Sunday is the Iowa Corn 350, 350 laps, 70, 140, 140 are the 3 stages. Starts at 3:30 Eastern time on USA Network and on MRN. And again, good weather. It'll be high of 77, 11% chance of rain. All good there. Ryan Blaney is the defending Iowa winner. The pick points. Jarrett lost some of his lead that he built thanks to that sweep a few weeks back. But the chat is now second, -13. Danny is -21. This is a historic day. I have not spent many weeks in the basement. This is one of the first. Not feeling good right now, I must say. Plus size, I get first pick. So don't get that. Why couldn't this have been next week? Why couldn't I have had the first pick for Watkins Glen?
Well, depending on how it goes, you might still have it.
Honestly, yeah, actually, maybe I'll self-sabotage this week so I can go for the sweep next week. Strategy. Hold up. Call me Team Penske because I'm sandbagging.
Ty Dillon time.
So
yeah, hold on a moment.
So Eric is going to the back of the field to try to miss the big one.
I'm going to try and get the draft so I can get that Xfinity fastest lap point. That's what I'm going to do. No, I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm going to pick earnestly, honestly.
Ain't going to pick Joey Gase.
The Xfinity Series race. We'll start with the win pick. I get first choice. Dude's won 3 in a row. I'm not sure I think he's run ARCA at Iowa. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if he's ever run an Xfinity car or truck here, but give me Connor Zilic. He picks this up so quick. I think he'll be great once again.
Eric is a Zillbilly.
Second up is Danny. Danny, who you got?
I'm going with my number 1 pick, Justin Allgaier.
You just stole it from the chat.
Well played, chat. You got to pivot, chat, pivot.
You can't take the corn, man. He's mine.
So you guys got my 1 and 4 picks.
They're thinking about it. They're processing.
They're all saying F words now because I took it.
They got a lot of Sam Mayers, some hosts of ours in there, a few Austin Dillons. A lot of double zeros now. It's all over the place.
Good amount of 11, 41, and 00.
Do I have to
19?
pull?
But 19's Bonsignor, isn't it?
Y'all pick him out of your own risk.
Yeah, let me see who the heck is in the night thing.
I'm gonna go ahead and just throw out. I'm gonna make a quick poll, and
The night thing is
let it.
Justin Bonsignor.
I'm gonna let it go for just a few minutes. Maybe I should have included Austin Dillon. I don't think there's that many 21s in the chat, but these are who I was seeing: Mayer, Hocevar, and Creed.
Sheldon Creed. Did you see that he was Vince Welch was in the booth with Alan Bestwick the other day?
I did not see that,
wow.
but that's good for him. All right, counting down. It's close. It's close. Counting down. All right, I know there's a delay.
I think they're going with Cup Series experience.
Hocevar
Okay.
gets the pick. All right, Jared, who you got?
I'll go with Ross Chastain in the 9.
Oh, okay. I thought about
Okay.
that. He disappointed me in trucks last week. I couldn't pick him again.
I will say, if they would have picked Chastain, I was actually going to pick a bit of a different one that I think has been getting better.
Who you
My
Mayer?
I was going to pick Taylor Gray.
Oh, interesting.
He's been sneaky fast at points and run for a few wins this year and just come up just short. Like,
Yeah.
People are talking about like JGR needs a clean shop. I don't know. Like, I think get him a little more experience. He might be getting a few wins.
I think Taylor Gray's okay. He could be something. Cup Series race. Who's going to suck?
Why do I feel like this is also the race that Williamson Wallace could randomly do well?
Yeah. I mean, he's gotten better. He ran pretty damn good in his time in ARCA here, didn't he?
Who's going to suck in the Cup Series race? I have first choice. I'm going to say John Hunter Nemechek.
Okay.
I'm staying in your same team, Eric Jones.
Who's Chet got?
I think SVG. There's
Right.
a lot all
Yeah.
over the places, but I'm seeing mostly SVGs.
I'm seeing a lot of 88 and 7, but more 88, I think.
I'll stay in the same vein with the numbers, at least one less 8. I'll go Kyle Busch.
Okay.
We need to get some race cars. This is terrible.
We are in trouble. Dark horse pick. Dark horse pick. Who is going to shock the world on Sunday? Give me Ryan Pretty Priest.
He got top 10 here last year. Go with Josh Berry.
That's a good one. It's a very good one.
Very
Chat. Dark horse sleeper. Well, they had they were taking Priest.
They're taking Priest, which they can take him for this. That's fine.
Yeah, I guess they can. If you want Priest, go for it. Yeah.
Well, let's go Ford Lockout. Let's go Ford Lockout with this one. Todd Gilliland. I think they got speed.
Okay.
That's an interesting one. Okay.
Stenhouse suddenly come through a bunch there for the.
He was fifth last year. I mean, all right. Who's going to win the Cup race at Iowa? The Iowa Corn 350. It's Corn. And it's going to be.
He's picking Joey Case.
It's going to be Denny Hamlin in Victory Lane.
Oh, Dennis the Menace. Okay.
Danny, who you got?
I'm not going to go by number 1. I'm actually going to go by number 2, Kyle Larson.
Oh, pivot.
Kyle Larson. All right. Who they got?
Oh, man. Come on, chat. Get it together.
See, that's the thing. I see a few 12s. I see a few 9s. And I see some 12s. And I see some 20s. I think
it's majority 12, I think.
I think it's Blaney. It feels like Blaney.
Blaney was my number 1. I just decided I don't know if I see him going back to back here.
Yeah, I think chat's got Blaney. So, Jarrett, who's your pick?
Okay, I'll go with my number 2 pick for both races, Joey Logano.
All right, okay.
It's just short tracks.
It's flat short track racing. We need to get our stuff together. We got race cars.
Do they though? We'll see. Maybe North Wilkes
Better
Road.
RCR, that's for sure.
Yes.
If I didn't have to have just 2 picks, I'd have probably also put Bowman on this list because they have been starting to get together and they did good at Dover, which was, not a short track per se, but
somewhat similar.
I like how someone said, but he's bad at Iowa. They had 1 race. We're not counting Xfinity in this. Is nothing. None of the Xfinity cars ever are like the next gen.
It's like dodgeball. If you can run at Richmond, you can run at Iowa.
Well, that was our Iowa Speedway picks and predictions. We still have more super chats to wrap up the night. But first and foremost, I want to remind everyone that next week, August 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be streaming live on the Icebergs YouTube channel. Click on his name in the description below to subscribe. Ring the bell. You won't miss next week's show. We'll talk Iowa, get you ready for the Glen. But for now, we got to get to these super chats. Bailey Reichert, I believe, is where we left off, says, I was curious with how Briscoe has been doing this year. Were we quick to blame Small more than we should have? Briscoe has come close to winning a couple times, the most speed that 19 has had since 2022. I think it was fair to doubt James Small coming into the year, considering the lack of success with Truex. But no, they've definitely figured it out as the year's gone on. They seem to be getting better. A couple of runner-up finishes lately. Won the pole this past weekend. Won Pocono. So they're coming in their own. I think Briscoe's team's in a good spot, all things considered. Bobby Blair, thanks for the 10. I've gained a lot of respect for Bubba this year. Haven't always loved his immature acts in the past, but this year he's been calm and cool, and it's paid off. Hell of a performance. I think that's how a lot of fans feel. Just looks like a very different Bubba Wallace, fully focused, fully locked in. Dan Miller with the 5 says, Eric called out Bowman for his crap talking after winning in Chicago after a dry spell. Let's see that same energy for Bubbles, respectfully. I don't remember. What did Bowman say after Chicago last year? I don't remember.
I think it was just more to like he was like saying like, you know, that everyone was saying like he couldn't win and they did, you know.
And has he won since then? And has he won since then?
No.
So I was right about Bowman. I mean, yeah, I didn't really pick up Bubba. Bubba was just saying, yeah, the streak is down to 0. I didn't feel like that was him proclaiming that he's going to go win more races. But I mean, he should win races, or we're going to criticize him.
Real quick, this just came out about 5 minutes ago. They put up the overall
Is it gameplay?
No, they put the overall motorsport ratings for the weekend, and it's all 8 major series that were televised. Do you want me to go from bottom? Let's go top to bottom because we know NASCAR Cup is on top with $2.5 mil. 1.108 million for Xfinity, F1 1.076 million, IndyCar 734,000 on Big Fox, yeesh, NHRA 500,000 on Big Fox, Formula E on CBS 473K. The truck race got 341K, and ARCA got 125,000.
Damn.
So I saw that, I'm like, damn, that was not a good rating for the truck guys.
JJ, people probably forgot about the truck series. They've been off for a month.
They did.
JJTN 52, thanks for the super chat. Big fan of the playoffs with a longer last round. Respectfully, people who point to 1992, 33 years ago, 11 years before the chase started, sound like grandpas yelling at clouds. Good Gen 6 is revisionist. Man,
I think
JJ,
Gen 6 was good.
JJ, I don't know if he's quoting any of us there, but JJTN52 refuses to look at the past through rose-colored glasses. Strong take there in the chat. Scrapyard, thanks for the super chat. The current Penske situation sort of mirrors what's been going on in the Xfinity series this season, where Ford has gone completely winless thus far. Yeah, considering how much speed Mayer and Creed, Mayer's 3rd in points. The fact that Mayer, and I guess Creed's not shocking, but the fact that they have no wins this year is a bit surprising. Sieg was so close a couple times last year, hasn't broken through this year either. Yeah, it's a little surprising. They just strengthen numbers, and they don't have numbers.
You seen how many races, though? JRM entered the year, I think, at 88 wins total, and they've had like 12 so far.
Yeah, they're insane. Yeah. Santa Claus. Santa is proud of you, Bubba. They say hashtag Santa stands with 2311.
Next up is going to be Georgia, I imagine.
Jim France getting coal in his stocking. Isaac V24 says, have you heard about the Warner Brother Discovery split? How will it affect NASCAR's TV deal? Oh, and congrats to Bubba for winning at the Brickyard. And then Isaac says, hashtag I stand with 2311. Yeah, we've heard about the split. We've talked about it a little on the show. I think it's still being worked out how this may or may not impact NASCAR. Because isn't I correct in saying that now NBC technically won't own USA Network going forward?
The Turner Warner split is for TNT.
I'm sorry, Warner Bros. Discovery.
That one is just sort of splitting like production and like distribution or
It's
in different studios. I don't think it should affect it. The what you brought up is the interesting one. Like USA being shooted or offshot. That's the interesting one of like, do they keep it on USA long term? Do they put it to Bravo, more NBC races?
The recent reports of NBC exploring a new sports cable network. I'm sure you all saw that.
One could call it an NBC Sports Network.
Huh. What an awful idea. Anyway.
That'd be a terrible name, though.
Yeah, I know. Probably would die out after about 10 years. I stand with 2311, sent a couple super chats saying, congrats, Bubba Wallace. You've made me proud to be your fan. That was actually very nice, very wholesome. Yeah. And then said, now Bojangles, I need you to type hashtag I stand with 2311. I don't know if Bojangles are coming to this.
Chicken?
Chicken?
Danny, you remember what Peter sent us this week about like the most, you know, since we've talked about chicken so much, the #1 fast food chicken joint in the USA for the second year in a row is Jollibee.
I saw that. There's one down the road from me. I've never been. It's from like the Philippines.
Do we have one around us?
I don't know. I'd never heard of it before.
Chat, is Jollibee that good? Because there's one like 15 minutes from me. I could go and share my thoughts next week on the show.
Anyway, there's AI says there's currently none in the Nashville area.
Andrew W says apparently Zilich took not winning on an oval personally. He goes 3 in a row on a triangle, oval, and a rectangle just to cover all possible shapes.
What about a trapezoid?
A rhombus. Red Dog 81 says, been busy. Hope everyone is well. Why doesn't NASCAR condense the crowd at Indy and tarp the empty seats with sponsors? Looks like they're doing that at Bristol baseball game, and it looks really good. My guess is it would take some really big tarps to cover all the Indy stands. But I mean, yeah, there's an argument to be made they could move them around. The thing about Indy though is like you'd actually rather sit in the corners, I think, based on what I've seen. You don't really want to sit at the start finish line too close. So kind of opposite of a lot of other tracks. Jason Carney, thanks for the super chat. 2020 watching iRacing on live TV. Timmy Hill with his $300 PC wheel beating Denny's $30,000 sim rig was a highlight. Yes. Yeah. That was the good parts of 2020 for sure. Jar Jar Binks, you said need to read in the correct voice. Misa cried Sunday. Bubba fans, we have to deal with so much hate. It was like our 20 years of trying moment. Oh my God. Thank you, Jar Jar. Red Dog 81. It's fitting because Bubba's driven a Star Wars paint scheme before. So anyway. Red Dog 81 says in-season tournament is whatever, in my opinion. Make prize money game-changing. Say $4 to $5 million. If the audience doesn't really get hyped for $1 million at the All-Star race, I can't see them being hyped for the same over 5 races. That's fair. That's a good point, actually.
There was disease.
Bailey Reichert with another super chat says, I could commit a crime and RC would defend me to the death as if I did nothing wrong, even though I clearly did with how he defends his drivers. I mean, at least you can't fault for him for backing up his guys, but
so have your back in a fight.
There's no base. It's not based in reality, sadly.
Oh gosh, could you imagine Richard Childress if he was the one involved in all the NASCAR stuff right now? He'd be airing out all the dirty laundry,
and he would probably be getting different little charges and things for it and fines.
Boy. Why are they picking on this blue collar team?
We're a blue collar team. We shouldn't even be in court.
John Berg says chances Reddick falls out of the playoffs. I'd say very slim. It would require at least 3 new winners. I think that's very slim.
3 or 4?
Would it take 4? Where's he at?
Because he's got, I guess 3.
It would be 3. It would need to be 3 of the next 4 races would have to be new winners, not named Tyler Reddick. And I think that's very unlikely. Mrs. Jar Jar Binks, Misa cried too, honey. It was 20 years moment. Gosh, I love that there's different profile pictures for all the Jar Jar characters as well.
We got the Jar Jar expanded universe.
Yeah, another one from Jason Carney. Reddick could fall below Bowman, only 74 points up. That's true. He says only 74 points. Like that's not a race and a half with 4 races to go.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, probably not. I stand with 2311 with the super chat. Thank you. No comment. Then Justin Drake with the nice, very generous $50 super chat. Very kind of you, Justin. Says, since NASCAR did the San Diego promo work and the drivers got their call names, here are some more fitting ones. Oh, God. Elliott, Golden Boy, Byron, 500. Logano, Mr. Mouse. Gregson, these are harsh. Gregson could be Mr. Irrelevant. Come on now. Hocevar, Bam Bam.
Sam Ard for the most Xfinity wins in a row.
Yeah, come on. And Briscoe, the Man in Black. Very intimidating. I don't know if Briscoe gives me the Johnny Cash gravitas, but those are some fun ideas there, Justin.
I mean, if he's in the Mahindra car so much, wouldn't like Red Lightning be a good one?
Oh, yeah. Wolf Guy 004, thank you for the 5, says NASCAR needs to get Sydney Sweeney in some NASCAR merch commercials and instantly see the profit.
I hear she has great jeans, apparently.
She has a great pit jacket as well. Doesn't really.
I mean, she's friends with Ryan Blaney, so
the wordplay doesn't really work. That's right, she is. Like the William Byron stuff is kind of a meme, like, you know, but the Ryan Blaney thing is real. So
it's probably like his wife that's actually friends with her, and then he just is sort of like, "Hey, how you doing?"
I was about to make a joke that was probably tasteless, so I'll keep it.
Keep it in the
gutter comments were enough taste.
I was just gonna say the last time Blaney introduced Byron to a girl, it obviously didn't last.
Oh, jeez!
I couldn't help myself. It just popped into my head. I was like, "What are the odds that would like once again be the connection?" But yeah, so Gavin,
we're gonna move on from that one.
Hey, I thought that worked. Gavin
Adcock did
with the 5. My boy Larson is getting back into the swing of things. 2 top 5s in a row. Be fearful, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna start using that. Be fearful. Yeah, Larson's been pretty good. Twin spinner, Austin Heel. That's his nickname for Austin Hill. Very well done. Very clever.
That could be his call sign, Heel.
Justin Drake with another generous super chat. Hill and Dick Childress can say all they want. I mean, I guess that is short for Richard, but you didn't have to say it like that. But with that much evidence, and since it's a driver with a history of back injuries, Almirola's wreck in 2017, it's not a shock at all that Austin Hill got suspended. Oh, I can't read this last sentence.
Can you send it in the chat to us?
This says, fittingly, his replacement is also, we'll just say, dumb. He's not a fan of Austin Hill. Austin Dillon, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm left like Nedry now.
You're going to get me in even more trouble at NWP After Dark. Where are we at here? Jason Carney says, do you think Dana White from UFC buys a charter in the next 2 years, and who would he get to drive? I still think Elliott is unhappy at Hendrick. I don't know about that. I feel like Elliott's in a pretty comfortable spot. I
don't see him actually moving forward with anything in NASCAR.
Yeah, I don't buying a charter with as much uncertainty as there may be around that system the next few years. I don't know if that's where Dana White's bread would be buttered, if you know what I'm saying. Is there still any work on an electric or an electric series? Did that fizzle out?
I haven't heard any updates. I just if anyone were to get involved, he probably would at this point with the rumors of last year.
Oh my goodness. Trying to keep up here. Where are we? Bobby Blair says, really is a shame. RCR looked like they were building something early on in the next gen era, winning races, Reddick making him look like a contender. Even Dillon was performing solid. Now, yikes. They helped develop the original next gen prototype. So I'm sure they had a solid bank of data that other teams didn't in 22, 23, and they've just lost their advantage. Indy Carson says, hey, NWP, I can't believe I witnessed history in person, seeing Bubba Wallace become the first African-American driver to win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Glad you were there, Indy Carson. Fitting name. Glad you had a good time. That had to be a lot of fun. Hope you stayed cool. Justin Drake, another super chat, says, what do RCR, the Cowboys, and JJ Yaley sponsor, Syracuse Orange Football, all have in common? They all have been incredibly irrelevant in the 21st century. In some cases, Syracuse football for much longer than the others too. And Justin Drake, who's Syracuse's rival? Because Justin's taking a shot at the
I will tell you this right now. You know what? Syracuse, there's only one real team in Orange, and you're playing them week 1. You're on the clock, Syracuse. Balls are coming for you.
Doom, 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 doom. Fred Dog 81. I like Cookie Monster a lot, but make Blue the Colts mascot Grand Marshal and have him pie the entire France family.
I did see he was going around at the track. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I did see he was there. I saw he jumped Jesse Love.
If you ever get the chance, go online and watch. They do at the Vikings games. They do kids versus mascots football, and they'll have him when the Colts aren't having a home game. They're brutal to those kids, and I love it. It's just a bunch of adults just like basically pile driving a bunch of fourth graders into the ground.
So great. Love this country.
I know. America.
Indy Carson again says, since my first cup race in 2009, I've witnessed new cup winners every year except 2012 and 2020. I did see Frankiti's last win and Dixon's 50th. Yeah, so you've seen some historic, momentous occasions, Indy Carson. That's awesome. Napa Racing Fan says, yep. Beer emoji. Great Iowa corn emoji. Schemes Gase. Oh, he's doing like a
Am I getting a boomer there?
Yeah, he's doing the King of the Hill bit. I'm sorry, Napa Racing Fan. Thank you. Good job, Jarrett. Saved my ass right there. Chris, thank you for the 10. I feel like Denny is the most adaptive driver in the history of NASCAR and has maintained a high level of performance, even if he was never the outright best in any year. That's what I've been saying this year. Like what he's done in the next gen era, while all of his contemporaries have frankly fallen off to some degree, crazy considering he's one of the oldest drivers in the sport.
The only time he was not winning was when he was in that purple version with the orange like swooshes on the side.
Cursed paint scheme.
Speaking
that was
of
like
the paint scheme looked great. He just didn't win it somehow.
It was like 2018, I think that was
2017, 2018.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I like that scheme. I don't know if that scheme aged that well.
I remember I was gifted this at Bristol in 2019.
I've got that car somewhere too.
Were we all gifted that? Because I got one from there too.
Yeah, I think we were. I think it was part of our like big meetup we all had, and we all got one of these.
Oh yeah. Actually, I think before we went into the media center, other times they randomly took us in there and they somehow gave us all one of those. I think that's where we got it from.
Couple more from Indy Carson. At Indy Xfinity Race, museum was closed at the finish. I stayed and saw Zilich win one in person. If Heim, Larson, or Zilich win, I'll leave before burnouts. Dang. I'll be at NASCAR at Iowa too. A lot less hot than Indy. You guys need to go to Indy. 18 different drivers in the Brickyard 400 and Indy 500 I've witnessed win. Well, it's a crown jewel.
I've gone to Indy, for the road course. I'll probably try to go to a Brickyard at some point, but I need to go to the Indy 500 at some point.
Yeah. I was at the Brickyard 407 that Stewart won, but
that's actually decent. That was a decent race.
Yeah. Skip Bayless in the chat. Michael Jeffrey Jordan still undefeated. MJ forever. Hashtag I stand with 2311.
By the way, did you see Shannon Sharp got let go by ESPN today?
I thought he already had. I didn't realize that he had just been placed on leave.
Did they catch it on video, or did he go live on Instagram?
Let's hope not. Not this time.
You're going to take this?
No,
I am a healthy male.
All right. We're 2 hours and 47 minutes, and thanks in part to myself, we are falling off the rails. Getting to the final run of Super Chats here. Really appreciate the support, folks. Adam Jarvis says Suarez now has 6 DNFs and 2 other race-killing crashes at Phoenix and now Indy, as well as being outside the top 30 in points, and he's lost his ride. This season has been rough. That's putting it lightly. Mexico City Xfinity win was pretty special, though. Sly Supersonic says, I really hope the new NASCAR game comes out good. I think we can all hold hands and say the same thing. Rowdy8 Diecast says, imagine they revive Kentucky. Welcome back 2019. Facts. Except now intermediates are in. Intermediates are cool again, unlike they were in 2019.
I just wouldn't know what Kentucky would go in for.
Yeah, it's a good question. SMI owned, difficult.
That's like a Bristol Spring date.
It's going to take, Weast, Virginia. Hashtag I stand with 2311. Hashtag I stand with legacy. Hashtag RIP RWR. Whoa. Okay. Now we have taken sides on this.
Well, yeah, he's talking about Rusty Wallace Racing, and it's no longer a team.
That is facts. It is a factual point from Weast, Virginia. Well played. Darth Vader says he is as clumsy as he is stupid. Hashtag I stand with NASCAR. Oh my God. The Empire.
Great Empire Strikes Back reference.
is siding with the Empire naturally. Final few super chats here from K. Sean H. Hot take: we can get 16 winners before the playoffs. I think someone just mentioned this. We need 3 winners in the next 4 weeks. And to be fair, that could be Reddick, Bowman, Busher. I guess.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I know you're doing super chats, but Noah Coleman said in the regular chats, Shannon Sharp is from a blue collar team. That's why they let him go.
The Denver Broncos are a blue collar team now. I mean, I guess
Apparently.
they're working hard. Another very generous super chat. This one from Hunter Nixon Fishing. Always appreciate your support. Although I'm a fan of Tony Stewart and he has a right to his opinion, his constant bashing and taking shots at NASCAR lately is getting old to me.
What did he say this time?
Not saying I disagree with his criticism. It just seems like a man talking about his ex-girlfriend. I've not heard. What did he say something like this week? Because if so, I've not heard it. I don't know the context, but in the past, yeah, he's obviously gone out of his way. That podcast he did, I think it was the Barstool podcast he did earlier this year. He really took some shots, and I think he realized about halfway through, I'm laying in a little thick, and tried to like kind of couch it all by saying, hey, I just want NASCAR to succeed, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it was like, damn, you really like, that was after he went out of his way to call him out. And it's a lot of it's probably very fair.
Speaking of former drivers who love NASCAR and ultimately he definitely wishes his career could have gone on longer, Kurt Busch, I've seen, is working on getting a IROC car set up for that little IROC reunion thing that they're doing.
Oh, I didn't know he'll be a part of that. That could be cool. Final 4 super chats here from Milton Valenzuela Jr. Hashtag I stand with Chris Wright. Okay. Everyone just has to have a platform now. You don't have to take a stand on everything. Some things can just be left alone. Oh no. Chris, hashtag I stand with the pace car. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
All right. And then from Isaac, I don't know what this is a reference to, so I'm afraid to say it, but I think it's okay to say. It says hashtag I stand with Gorman. Hashtag the galaxy is watching. Is that a Star Wars reference?
So I think it's one from Andor. I remember after one of the events we did, John and I sat up watching it, and they just every time the British accent, Gorman, and I'm like, oh.
In the chats, people are saying hashtag I stand with chicken. We definitely do. Finally, from Bailey, as a Briscoe fan, how far do you think he'll make the playoffs? Round of 8?
Damn, I mean, how they've been running so far, there's an off chance they can make it all the way.
I mean, I think round of 8 certainly plausible.
You could definitely get the pole for every single race.
And that's worth stage. I mean, he'll get stage points doing that. So that's really important come playoff time. Yeah, I mean, I think he's certainly he'll get through the round of 16 if he keeps running like he's been running. And then it's just execution, and they might need to pull out a big win somewhere along the way. But I think it's possible. I think what they're getting at is, would that be a successful season? I think round of 12, considering they've won a race, would be a successful season. But if they get to the round of 8, maybe win another race, I think this would be a very successful. Remember, this is the first year with this team. Like, they're still learning each other. Would be very successful, I think. But that's going to do it, folks. Another long show. Doing our best to keep these things as lean and mean as we possibly can. But it's been a busy few weeks of NASCAR news. Really appreciate you staying up late with us. Daniel here, not Danny B on the panel, but Daniel here in the chat just ended it up with a super chat that says, I stand with NW freaking P. And yes, they did say freaking. That's a great way to stamp this episode. We'll be on Jarrett's channel, The Iceberg, next week, August 6th. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Have a good rest of your week. Enjoy Iowa Speedway on USA Network this Sunday. We'll see you in 7 days' time. Take care, y'all.
Started off right now. Right on, come on.
Get outside. Three wide. Unbelievable. Three playing. We're going. I like the aggression. We probably got the great car. You can go to all those guys up there. They can suck in.
What we're about to do is not a good idea.
All good. What is he doing? You gotta be kidding me.
Half the pack is flying apart.
It's so nice to see you at the line.
Oh, pack of cars come piling in as well.
Come in the light. Here low. Come back on him.
That